My name's David Avitia. I'm a catcher, and you're watching the Birds Broadcast Network.
After 5 straight wins for the Birds, followed by 3 losses, 2 to Chatham and 1 last night to Wareham. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Bird's Eye View. Scotty Gange alongside team beat reporter Alec Hendon. Our Saturdays from Center special. Before, Alec, I toss it to you, some housekeeping. Matt Goodhart, he has gone home. He has been released as of last night, no longer on the Birds roster, but some new additions, Alec.
Yeah, a new pitcher for the Firebirds joined recently this week, Jake Eater, a national champion, just coming back from Vanderbilt after they took it all in Omaha. But I want to mention a quick shout out to Matt Goodhart. He was an impressive player and an impressive person in his short time here in Orleans. He's going to go under the knife and get a little surgery to fix an issue before he goes back to Arkansas, and we wish him nothing for the best. He was a very good Firebird and very good person. Nothing but the best. You know, Scotty, we're on a little bit of a losing streak. We're not having as much fun right now. We're glad just to have you back. I'm looking for some positives, man.
Well, it's all positive here at the park. Of course, playing YD. The Firebirds are 0-2 against YD, but it offers a fantastic opportunity for them to bounce back. Of course, yes, the 5 wins, followed by 2 very tough losses against Chatham and last night's 15-4 blowout loss all the way out in Wareham. That one will take a lot out of you. But for tonight against YD, this is a fantastic opportunity for Orleans to have a bit of a bounce back.
Absolutely. They're playing a team that is ahead of them in the standings and has taken it to them in both their earlier matchups. They're going to get a little bit of redemption potentially today with Ian Seymour on the mound, who pitched their, I believe, the opener between both these teams. Right. And when Orleans just couldn't get much going and the pitching staff wasn't very good that day. But it is always an opportunity for redemption, as we've seen from the Firebirds. 5 straight wins, 3 straight losses. They're capable of both extremes, and with a trip at home, maybe it'll do a difference. We're going to be home here a lot now, Scotty. The long trips are gone for a little bit. I think that both puts a smile on our faces.
It really does. Of course, home here today. Tomorrow it's a home and home, so they'll be at YD tomorrow for an earlier start time. That's going to be 5 p.m. tomorrow, and then 3 more games at home right here at Eldridge, where everybody loves to be. It's a fantastic park. But I want to transition to the most away game you could have. Going off the Cape, they played at Wareham, a 15-4 loss.
Yeah.
It was tough. It's hard to say what went wrong, but what did go wrong?
Well, I think no one could have really expected that.
Yeah.
Owen Shart's on the mound yesterday, entered the start with a sub-1 ERA, Scotty. He gives up
He really had been fantastic.
He gives up 8 runs in 2+ innings. He just couldn't really get much going. Credit to Wareham. They're the best offense in the Cape League, and they proved it again yesterday. 4 batters in, they scored 4 runs. There's not really much you can go for at that point. But the best part about baseball is there's always a game the next day. The Firebirds have had a lot of games in a row.
Right.
Maybe the grind's wearing on them a little bit, but it's always another opportunity, and it starts tonight against YD.
It really does. And talking to Kelly Nicholson on the 4th of July game, I asked him, Coach, after 5 wins, there was their first loss, and it was a tough one. How do you bounce back from that? And I think you and I both know, and if you've been following the Firebirds this season, you know that something like that isn't really going to phase Kelly Nicholson. He is a guy that is all about being right now in the moment, being as present as possible. He's told me he's, in fact, a minimalist. He watches other managers to kind of put himself in those moments so he doesn't get too high or too low and whatever they may be, which he didn't get too high in the 5 wins, and I can bet a lot of money that he's not going to get too low here in these 3 past losses.
Absolutely. And one thing we've noticed in both of these games, specifically the 2 losses to Chatham, Orleans trailed by substantial margins late in those ball games, and they found a way to compete all the way down to last out. They fell just short in both those games. And eventually, Scotty, when you come back that often, it's going to go your way eventually.
Yeah.
And we'll see if potentially that's tonight against the YD Red Sox, where the Firebirds haven't beaten 7 straight games. So I think the Firebirds might owe them a little bit tonight.
As we said, it's a fantastic opportunity for the Firebirds to get back on track and back to their winning ways. Of course. Hey, we're here with the smart guy from University of Chicago, Lane Painter, also the bullpen catcher for the Firebirds. Thank you for coming in, first off.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, you've been on our Bird's Eye View postgame show a number of times, but here you are on the pregame show where we get to learn all about you. You go to the University of Chicago. You are a smart guy. I want to hear more about your time at Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. So the University of Chicago, my story with the University of Chicago is sort of interesting because just like all these guys out here, I went through recruiting like the same way, had offers from a bunch of different schools, but for me, the focus really was, my academics. And when I got the offer to play for U Chicago, I could not pass it up, and I had to say I absolutely love it. The city, the people, the baseball, it was all new for me. I'm from New Jersey, from a suburb in New Jersey, just outside of the city. but I never actually lived in a city, and it was definitely a big change for me.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. I have to say, I've loved my first year there. Yeah.
So what is it that you're diving into there in terms of academics?
Yeah, so I'm a business econ major. So I'm taking classes in that this upcoming year. But my first year, I was working through the core curriculum, which is something they do at UChicago, which is just a variety of different specialized classes.
Difficult classes.
Yeah, difficult. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot.
So I'm interested to hear. I know that every year there's a new Firebirds bullpen catcher. How did that come to be you this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had a house down here with my family in Brewster, which is right down the road, my whole life. So I was always familiar with Cape Cod baseball. I was coming to Orleans games, I would say, for probably 15 years. I've always caught at least one game, just coming down to vacation, because Orleans, obviously, best field,
right.
Best fans.
Get up there on the hill.
Yeah, I was one of those kids up on the hill going for the foul balls. So when I finished my first year, I had 2 injuries, and I was coming off those, and I wanted to get slowly back from my rehabbing. So I reached out to Skip, and I told him my situation, and he said, come down and you'll be a bullpen catcher for this year. So,
how's it been treating you?
I love it. I love it. It's honestly, this has been one of my favorite summers I can remember. The guys are fantastic. I get to play baseball and enjoy myself every day. So I'm really, really loving it. Yeah.
I know it's kind of different from probably catching during a game than in the bullpen. How have you kind of balanced that in terms of getting the proper chemistry with these guys and just getting them ready to go out and pitch?
Yeah, building relationships with these guys is a huge part of my job, because we're spending hours and hours today on the field every single day. So building relationships is a huge thing, and just getting to know every one of their pitchers, because all these guys have such a different, unique background, with their pitching coaches at the varieties of different schools that they're coming from. And as my job, just working with them every day, receiving them, everybody has something different, so I just had to get used to all that and stuff like that. Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself as a catcher?
I've learned to sort of trust myself, because coming in here, these are some of the top pitchers in the country.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking for everybody, just sort of at the beginning of it.
Almost intimidating at
Exactly.
first.
It's a little intimidating, but just to trust yourself and just enjoy yourself, having fun. Yeah.
If there's one thing from now to the rest of the season you're trying to work on in terms of either yourself building relationships or in terms of almost just you being a catcher, what would you say it would be?
I would say if there was one thing I tried to work on, it would just be slowing down the day, not letting everything go so quickly, and just enjoying every single moment just out on the field. Yeah.
Are you enjoying every moment?
Every moment. I love it. I'm totally enjoying it. Yeah.
When you look at yourself, playing baseball, being around all these guys, in the perfect world, what would you see?
In the perfect world, I just see us, getting through the rest of the season and just winning and doing as much as we can, having everybody getting better, everybody moving on to the next level as much as, they desire to. So, yeah.
Somebody outside of the Firebirds might wonder, what makes this guy different? I know it's the fact that you are an extremely smart individual, and you said it right at the beginning here. You chose to go to school for academics rather than for sports. Away from sports, what is it that you're passionate about in that sense?
I do have a little bit of a passion for econ. I'd say it's the nerdy side of me, econ and math. That hasn't really shook yet in all my schooling. But I'm also interested in finance, and artificial intelligence is something that I'm sort of getting into. I have a little bit of a passion for that, and I think that's as weird as it sounds, I think that's where we're moving, as a society.
Yeah.
So that's where
AI in terms of Alexa, stuff like that.
Well, not Alexa, but sort of integrating it into just the world, not even just home, and just with finance and business and stuff like that. So the collision between those two things, yeah.
That's I would like to ask a follow up on that, but I really have no idea what that even is.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, that's just my take on what I've been learning in school is. Something I put together is, again, I don't want to go too in-depth about it, but yeah, like I said, the combination between artificial intelligence and business, I think, is going to be something that people will be using every day down the line in the next 10, 20 years.
I know a lot of people that are diving into artificial intelligence aren't spending their summers playing baseball in the Cape or playing in their college. How do those two coincide for you?
It's funny, I still catch myself, thinking about all those different types of things out on the baseball field, so I've always been able to sort of do it together, Exactly.
It's really interesting. You having fun out here?
I love it. Yeah, it's couldn't get any better. Yeah.
A few losses, 5 straight wins, 3 losses. How does that change you out in the bullpen?
Like I said, relationships is a huge thing, and some of these pitchers they'll get down on themselves, but everybody's trying as hard as they can. So getting everybody's spirit back up is what my job is. So.
You're picking up my spirit right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Feeling good,
I'm feeling
that's
a little
right.
confused about artificial intelligence. I think the 10 years thing, should I be all right with that? Like this?
Yeah, you're totally fine. Don't
Okay,
worry
all
about
right,
it.
We're safe.
Don't worry about that.
Alexa, end the interview now.
My name is Donovan Benoit. I'm a right-handed pitcher, and a fun fact about me is I lived in 5 different states and 8 different cities.
Hi, my name is Zach Kokoska. I play outfield, and you're watching the Birds Broadcast Network.
My name is AJ Lewis. I'm a utility player for the Orleans Firebirds, and you're watching the Birds Broadcast Network.
Appreciate Lane coming on the show. He always kind of has interesting stuff to talk about. This guy has very interesting stuff to talk about. Again,
Thanks for having me on, Scotty.
Yes, you know the face with the glasses. You look great, TJ Matthewson.
Thank you. I was really debating whether or not to go with the glasses.
You
or
look
not,
good.
but
Yeah, it looks
hey,
good.
Sun's out for now.
Yeah, for now. Hopefully the rain doesn't get us. I think it's about 8 or 9 p.m. There might be some rain.
Hopefully 5 innings. After
Yes.
5 innings.
Yes,
Yeah, we've
get a
already
full
had
inning
enough.
in.
Already have enough postponements so far.
So tell me, you're the YD broadcaster. Are you on the call tonight? I know you guys. Are
I'm off again today.
You were off.
Yes.
Okay, so that means he's going to be on the.
I have plenty. I have plenty of
between one
time
the
and
innings.
yeah, maybe
All right.
possibly you want to have me on. I'd love to come back on.
Yes. All right, so you're not only going to see him here in the Bird's Eye View Saturdays from Center special edition. You like that Saturdays from Center?
I like that.
Yeah,
Very
'cause
catchy.
It's more like right center, but in center you can't set up the camera.
Yeah, center. It's
It's-
only Frank Thomas is allowed over there.
Exactly. So you're our YD guy. We talked some Orleans with Alec Hendon, and one of our broadcasters is going to come on at the end of the show. But tell me about YD. I know, like you said when we were just talking, they've been, in a word, inconsistent.
So a very underwhelming first couple weeks, around 500 mark. After their second doubleheader against Falmouth, which they split, they really took off. They're, I believe, 7-3 in their last 10 games. Been really good. The offense has been really consistent. Pitching is not. The pitching has struggled at times this season. On Monday in Chatham, Red Sox lose 15-1. They have their starter Carlos Emili only go a third of an inning due to an injury, and it just screwed up the whole bullpen from there. And then you have back-to-back great pitching performances. One against the Wareham Gatemen. They only allow 1 run at home to Gatemen in a 3-1 win. You know, Gatemen, one of the top offenses in the whole Cape,
Scored
shut them
15
down
runs yesterday.
Yeah, exactly, against the Firebirds. And then they go into Hyannis on 3rd of July. They win 13-1. They look great. The pitching was great. Jack Leftwich was great, one of the few consistent YD arms this summer. And then they've had back-to-back really sluggish outings against Hyannis on Thursday on the 4th of July. They allowed 7 runs. There was base runners galore. They twice had to come back from multiple run deficits. And then we had yesterday. They allowed 11 two-out runs to the Brewster Whitecaps in a loss on the road. Again, shortened due to sunlight.
So it seems, I mean, kind of like you said, it's all over the place. We've
Yeah.
seen great arms.
Yeah.
We've seen 11 two-out runs, and I know Drew Swift came on, 3 position players.
So Drew Swift.
He not only gave up a two-run home run.
Yes. So Drew Swift, what Red Sox at this time are down 13-0. Drew Swift comes in to pitch the 7th inning.
A shortstop out of Arizona State.
Yes, sophomore shortstop. Comes in to pitch the bottom of the 7th inning. Gives up a 2-run home run, but ends up striking out the side in the 7th inning.
Scratch the 2-run
Former
homer.
closer at Hamilton High School in Chandler, Arizona. It was really cool to watch because you had 3 YD position players pitch. You had Drew Swift. You had Sam Hall, a utility guy out of Clemson, touched 87 there at Veterans Field. And then we had Riley Tirada come in, and he struck out Charlie Welch of the Anglers to end the bottom of the 8th inning. So 4 total strikeouts, I believe, for YD position players on Monday. Made a little bit of fun out of the 15-1 loss, which can be tough at sometimes.
Firebirds family, you know Zach Kokoska, who apparently is listed as a left-handed pitcher on the Kansas State website, but is a position player. He plays outfield. He pitched last night, so on our end, we've gotten to see kind of that same thing. It's very fun. It's one of the gems of the Cape League. You get to see players kind of out of their element a little bit.
And that's the thing. A lot of these coaches, head coaches, don't want their position players. You know, they probably don't want them pitching just due to trying to protect their arm. And Sam Hall's had a bit of a sore arm after that.
It's a gusty day from Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts, as the YD Red Sox and the Orleans Firebirds meet for the 3rd time this season, 2nd time here at Eldridge Park. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Thomas Cinzarella joined alongside Josh White. And the Orleans Firebirds of the last 3 games have not been the same Firebirds as they were the previous 5. They won 5 in a row and now have dropped 3 straight. Josh, what has been different for these Orleans Firebirds?
Thomas, I think it's clearly, evidently, the pitching staff for this Orleans Firebirds club not the same we saw through the first 17 ball games. Orleans has given up 28 earned runs over the last 3 games. The first 17, they just scratched above the 40 mark. That shows you just the difference in the last 3 games. Now, granted, 2 of those losses were 1-run ball games that the Firebirds came out on the short end, but that didn't tell the whole story as a whole. Orleans bullpen with all of these games has been a little lackluster, just trying to find arms. We saw Zach Kokoska coming in recording out last night, but I think they're expecting big things from Jarod Schuster on the bump today. Then would not be surprised if we saw Jake Eater make his Firebirds debut tonight as well.
And this is a YD Red Sox lineup that can jump out in a hurry, just like the Wareham game at YD. Also one of the best offensive teams here on the Cape. Just looking back the last couple games, they put up a 15-1 victory, or excuse me, loss against Chatham, but 13 runs against Hyannis. But it's been the pitching really that has just struggled for them at times this year, as Jarod Schuster, the southpaw from Wake Forest, will take the hill for the Orleans Firebirds in his fourth starting here on Cape Cod, as Scott Nicholson will hope that Schuster can give him a little bit of a boost here in Orleans. First pitch to Wide Young comes up and in as he ducks out of the way for ball one. Again, Wide Young, the shortstop, will start things off. Noah Campbell, the DH, batting second. Austin Wells, the catcher, batting third. Riley King over at third base, batting fourth. Beasley at center, batting fifth. As the 1-0 pitch just misses low and outside for ball two, count 2-0. Tate Samuelson, the first baseman, batting sixth. Andrew Eistover in left field, batting seventh. Jake Palmer, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Gavin Dugas, the second baseman, batting ninth. 2-0 pitch is in there at the knees for strike one. And count 2 balls and a strike on Wyatt Young. God, that's been red hot at the plate for the YD Red Sox, currently owning an 8-game hit streak. Left-hander Schuster to the left-hander Wide Young. The 2-1. Over the top curveball doesn't bite enough. Misses high and out.
He is 5'7", a $165, but leads the league in hitting. Just shows you how dominant he's been at just getting on base.
3-1 from the windup. Fastball at the letters for strike two. Count is full with 3-2 as a little of a Jose Altuve-esque type of player, I guess. You know, Altuve only, 5'9", 5'8", something around there. Dustin Pedroia as well, also a small second base. There's a 3-2 pitch. Fouled off the mid of Rob Emery. Count remains full at 3-2.
I think anytime anyone has a .468 on base percentage, regardless of their average, now Young leads the league just under 400 batting-wise. .468 is going to get the job done. There's a reason why he's in the leadoff spot.
3-2 pitch is popped up and out of play. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bench it Rob Emery at the dish. His first start since July 2nd. After he took one off the ankle area, good to see him back behind the dish. Count is 3-2. The pitch from Schuster. This one's rolled over towards the right side of the infield. Seretti moves to his left, throw over to Gill at first base. And the speedster, Wide Young, is retired. Here to start things off in the top of the first. So we'll take a look around the defense for Orleans. Starting out in left field from left to right, Max Tirani out in left. Jacob Hurtabees in center, Zach Britton over in right. Tanner Murray over at third base, McKay back at shortstop, Seretti over at second, Ray Gill at first base. And again, Rob Emery is doing the catching for Jarod Schuster as the first pitch is in there to Noah Campbell for strike one. Campbell out of the University of South Carolina, switch hitter, batting from the right side against the left-hander Schuster. 0-1, a pitch is fouled into the mitt of Rob Emery, count 0-2. Campbell so far putting on a summer that he did last summer, batting .333 for the Red Sox. The 0-2 pitch is fouled out of play on the first base side. Again, here in the top of the first, still scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park. Nobody on, 1 out. The 0-2. Off-speed misses low and outside, kind of ball on 2 strikes. Again, Schuster's last start was back on June 30th against Harwich, when 5 strong innings, just allowed 2 hits and 2 runs. 0-2 runs up and out of the zone. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Campbell also owning a 3-game hit streak as the 2-2 off-speed just misses low for ball 3.
Yeah, very good changeup there from Jarod Schuster. It looked like it almost got the inside part of the plate at the knees of Campbell, but John Torres thought it missed low.
Well, the payoff pitch. Campbell slashes one out towards shallow center field. Hurtaby is coming on the run, but the second baseman Seretti backs up into shallow right center. He'll make the catch for the second out. So the first two Waddy Red Sox hitters are retired here in the first inning. Of course, around this time, the game in yesterday put up 5 runs. It was just great offense by the Gatemen.
It was a little longer than that, Thomas. It was 4 batters before Wareham put 4 on the board, but still, it's a much better start for the Firebirds.
I was going by the outs page there. But first pitch to Austin Wells, the catcher, at the letters for strike 1. Austin Wells has been hard to stop here on Cape Cod so far. Lefty-lefty matchup, the 0-1. Curveball dips in at the knees for strike 2. Count 0-2 on Wells. Wells, .333 average. He has 5 long balls and 18 runs driven in. Leads the Cape in home runs and RBIs. Fastball outside corner, strike 3 call. And Wells goes down looking as Jarod Schuster pitches a 1-2-3 top of the first inning. After the top 1, it's still a scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park. We'll step aside. Listen to Firebirds baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Home half of the first inning from Eldridge Park as Jarod Schuster retires the Red Sox in order, including striking out the big hitter Austin Wells, the catcher, as he's now back behind the dish. As Legend Smith, the left-hander out of Oklahoma, gets the nod from Scott Pickler as he'll face the lineup that you see on the screen. As the Firebirds, they put up a good offensive showing yesterday in Wareham, able to scratch across 4 runs on 9 hits. And McCabe having a nice evening yesterday, 2 for 4 with a run driven in. He's back in the lineup tonight. Jacob Hurtubise making his second start in a Firebirds uniform, also a multi-hit game. So Hurtubise will start things off from the left side. Legend Smith so far, again the left-hander out of Oklahoma. 1-1 on the season, making his 5th appearance. This is his first start here on the Cape. 11.81 ERA. He has pitched 5 1/3 innings. Struck out 9, but has got roughed up a couple times. First pitch fastball. This is low and outside. Hurtubise, the center fielder, for ball 1.
This is his first start of 2019 as well, not just on the Cape, but even if you count the time at Oklahoma.
Hurtubise showing bunt as he pulls it back as the 1-0 misses low and outside, count 2-0.
It sounds like this is kind of just an opener for Scott Pickler's club. It's going to be a staff day for the Red Sox with Ian Seymour, a late scratch on the bump.
2-0 pitch, fires a fastball at the belt for strike 1, count 2-1. I'm sure if Brian Kenny's out there, I don't know, he's probably not listening, but he would love it right now. When Scott
I think Brian Kenny's listening.
2-1, pitch, Hurtubise reaches for 1 and pushes it foul on the third base side to count 2-2. We're going to have to tweet out to him or something, get him to tune in, you know. Say there's an opener going on, just like a position player pitching. Get the opener going.
Get the cut 4 graphic.
2 balls in, 2 strikes on Hurtubise. Slashes one over to the left side of the left field for a base hit. And Hurtubise rounds first, takes off the batting helmet, puts it back on. He's aboard here to start things off in the bottom of the first inning.
Spoke to Jacob Hurtubise after the ball game last night. He was just happy to get 5 quality ABs in the Orleans Red after just getting 13 with the Mariners. I'm sure he's happy to have 3 hits, more than he had across the 5 games he played with Harwich.
Now has had 6 ABs in a Firebirds uniform, now in just his second game. Danny Serrati, the switch-hitting infielder from UNC, will bat from the left side. Ledger working from the stretch as Serrati shows bunt. Once again, pulls it back. Got 1 ball and no strikes on Serrati. Glances down towards Jamie Quinn in the third base coach's box. As Hurtubise with some speed over at first base. Third baseman Riley King is in on the grass. Ledger glances back a couple more times before Serrati calls time as Ledger's about ready to kick and fire. Serrati takes a deep breath. Down in the Orleans Firebirds red and blue batting gloves. Or red and black, I should say, as the 1-0 pitch misses low and outside. Count 2-0 on Serrati. Ledger trying to keep Hurtubise close over at first base. Takes a couple more steps at first in Hurtubise. Ledger comes set from the chest. The 2-0 pitch. Serrati grounds over towards the shortstop. Young flips it on to Dugas at second. Comes across the bag. And Samuelson's able to pick the ball over at first base as Serrati trotting down the line. And avoids the double play.
Very odd fielder's choice right there. Serrati looked like, thought he pulled something at first, only lollygagging it down the line, and then Samuelson had all the time in the world to pick it out of the dirt, but unable to grab it, so Serrati reaches on the fielder's choice.
Serrati leading off at first base with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Still a scoreless ball game as Max Triani from the right side. Slider misses at the ankle area to Triani. Triani trying to have a bounce back game here today. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in Wareham yesterday. Trying to make his mark here in this ball game and turn the page. The 1-0. Triani laces one towards the left center field gap. It drops in for a base hit. Beasley was ranging over to left center. Almost had it, but Max Triani, family and everything here at Eldridge Park as they get up from the bleachers behind the dish. And Triani is aboard with just 1 out.
So Triani snaps out of an 0 for 9 skid, reaching base in his 8th consecutive ball game. But Thomas, no surprise, it's another single for Triani. Single number 21 of the summer of his first 22 hits.
That wasn't a typical Triani single in some ways either. Usually it's putting it through the holes in the left or the right side or pulling it down the line. That one got out in the gap. First pitcher, Ray Gill rolls over. Slow chopper towards the shortstop. Young flips it on to Dugas. Dugas comes right back around and gets Gill, who comes up hobbling up at the end of that play. But it's a 6-4 3-inning-ending double play as the Firebirds strand a runner on the base pass after collecting a couple base hits. But after one, it's still a scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park. And we welcome back to Eldridge our sideline reporter, Scotty Gange, for his keys to the game.
Thomas, thanks, buddy. We always say keys to the game. It's more kind of just talking points of the game. The first one is the fact that when you're watching Jarod Schuster, just keep an eye out for the stamina he's about to have on the mound. Of course, he's a guy that has had almost a full week off of rest, and before the game I got to watch him. It's kind of different than the way everybody else treats the game. In his warm-ups, he does the longest of long toss. He went all the way out to deep center field and was throwing so far to Rob Emery that Rob Emery had to throw it actually to pitching coach Matt Troop halfway down because he was just throwing the longest of long toss, really trying to strengthen his arm. So that was pretty cool to see. And when he's going out there, you know that he's going to have some stamina. We're going to come down here actually for the next piece of it. We have some big fans. I saw both of you guys were going crazy. The Max Troiani crew, right?
Yeah, exactly. We came here. We saw the game on July 4th and then last night, and finally glad to see Max get a hit.
Yes, you guys were very glad to see him get a hit because you were going all crazy out that. Is it the same at Bentley when you watch him?
I've actually never seen him play at Bentley, so you got to ask his best friend. I know.
All right.
Yeah.
I know you've been thrown out of a few Bentley games.
I came close, but I've never actually been thrown out. Maybe I should have once or twice.
Where does that come from? That love for your buddy, or is it just straight love?
Fire. It is love. It's a lot of love, and we just do what we can for our team.
To watch him play out here, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is. Definitely is. Absolutely.
What a special time. We scratched the keys to the game to hang out with the Max Triani crew. You guys, thanks so much. We'll get back to baseball here.
And thank you, Scotty. Always a great time with Scotty Gange and Al Kendon who filled in for Scotty on the sidelines. First pitch at the knees to Riley King as the Firebirds go off another shift here. Murray over at third base, hugging the line. McCabe over towards the hole. Seretti up the middle. 0-1 pitch. King hits one off the knob of the barrel. It just goes past the first base. Down the line for a fair ball. The right fielder, Britton, coming in quickly. And King will hold things right there at first base, but not your prototypical single down the line.
Now, and you mentioned that Ray Gill came up hobbling a little bit, running down the line on that double play. He looked a little gimpy there as well, just trotting down the right field line. And Orleans a little limited with options at first and catcher. They really only have 3 guys that play the collective 2 positions. They've got Gill, a natural third baseman. They have Rob Emery, who's behind the dish tonight, that also plays first. Then they have David Avidia behind the dish. That's it.
So Schuster will look from the stretch for the first time tonight. Fires back with a fastball to the center fielder, Beasley, at the knees for strike 1. Top of the second here from Eldridge Park. Still scoreless ball game as Waddy tries to strike first. King, the leadoff man on it. Schuster will fire over towards first to check on Riley King. So Beasley, the center fielder, holding his pants up to his knees as the 0-1 off-speed misses low. Kind of ball on a strike, and pretty neat socks that Beasley is wearing. Almost like a stirrup, but more like the Nike Elites that they have, and then have the YD logo up towards the kneecaps. Schuster comes set from the chest, the 1-1. Fastball is flat high in the air towards shallow right field. Britton moving in a couple steps. Can't center it and makes the catch for out number 1. So King will hold things over at first with 1 down here on the top of the second. As Tate Samuelson, the first baseman, will dig in from the right side. Takes a long glance towards Scott Pickler, just past the third base coach's box. Schuster snap throw to first base. And scurrying back, standing in is Riley King. Schuster kicks and fires off speed. Well out in front of it was Samuelson, a wave and a miss for strike 1. Samuelson out of Cal Poly, native of San Diego, California, the same hometown as our Southern reporter Scotty Gange. 0-1 from Schuster. Comes back right with a fastball at the knees. 0-2 on Samuelson, the first baseman. Hitting .242 so far here on the Cape. Has a home run and 4 runs driven in for the Red Sox. Schuster will check on King once again. Just glides back in standing. Schuster trying to work on his second punch out in tonight's ball game. Struck out Wells to end the first. Schuster kicks and fires the 0-2. Fastball runs it upstairs for ball. Got 1 ball and 2 strikes. Schuster so far, 13 innings, has struck out 13, so right around that 1-to-1 ratio. 1-2 pitch is lifted into shallow left center field. Trani will give way to the center fielder Hurtubise in left center. And makes the catch as Eddie McCabe went out as well, but lost the gap just beyond the grass.
Is that deja vu or what? I feel like a ball was hit to left center field. Max Troiani was there, and Jordan Lala came over, overran Troiani to call him off and make the catch. And now Hurtubise, wearing the same number that Lala wore in Orleans, does the same thing, runs over and makes the grab.
It is deja vu again for sure. It's the number
it's
17
not just me,
or something.
Right?
No. Saw it a couple games ago. First pitch out in front was Andrew Eister, the left fielder, for strike 1. Eister, who had an eventful game the first time these two teams faced off, was the man that could not be stopped. 0-1 a pitch, cut on a miss for strike 2, 0-2 on the left fielder.
Yeah, in that ball game, Eister, like you mentioned, finished a triple shy of the cycle, went 3 for 4, drove in a pair of runs, and that was part of a day for YD where you just knew from the get-go that ball game probably over.
His first 3 plate appearances in that ball game, all of them were hits. 0-2 pitch, fastball just missing inside. Kind of ball on 2 strikes now in Eister. First base dugout for the Firebirds wanted that one. Again, 2 outs here at the top of the second inning, still scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park. Riley King standing on at first base after his leadoff single, but a pair of flyouts have resulted in being left over there so far. 1-2 pitch, bounce in the dirt. The catcher, Rob Emery, corrals it as he throws off the mask. 2 balls in 2 strikes as the wind begins to gust up here from Eldridge Park, blowing in from straightaway center. The 2-2. Fastball, strike 3, as Eister just swings through it. And for the second time tonight, Schuster has struck out a YD Red Sox to end an inning. After 1.5, still a scoreless ball game between the Firebirds and the Red Sox. Listen to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Once more, kicks and fires. The 1-1. Fastball hammered out towards right field. Right fielder Bryn ranging back to the track. And he tried to make it, but that ball finds over the fence for a home run as the 0-2. Fastball raked on the ground towards the second baseman Zamora, and it goes down to the glove into right field base hit. 1 run is in for the Anglers. Coming in for another from second is Terrell. Open stance on the right side. The 3-2 fastball outside corner, strike 3. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball stopped the other way into right field for a base hit. 1 run is in. It gets past the right fielder, Cabadis. Coming in to score from second is Goodhart. Gill coming in towards home as he tries to dodge Rice, the catcher, but the throw is in time as it's up to Eddie McCabe, the shortstop, to prolong this game. First pitch swinging, lines it over the second baseman head into the right field gap for a base hit. Coming around to score from second is Triani. The tying run will be at the plate and David Avitia. As Murray slices one over towards the second baseman, gets past the second baseman, Jones in the right field for a base hit. Trotting in from third is Ray Gill. The 3-2. Fastball lined down the left field line for a base hit. Coming around third is McCabe. He'll come in to score. Holding up over at third is Tanner Murray. The Firebirds trying to draw first blood in this ball game. Still a scoreless game as Bryn, McCabe, and Murray, the 3 Firebirds, do up in this half inning. Zach Bryn, the right fielder, stands from the left side, takes a fastball up and in as he backs off the dish. Bryn, the right fielder out of Louisville, hitting .266 for the Firebirds. Legend Smith from the windup. The 1-0 pitch fires a curveball on the outside edge for strike 1. Kind of ball on a strike. Again, Jarod Schuster has ended the first 2 innings here with a punch out. A curveball skips in. 1-1 curveball skips in. Count 2 balls and a strike. Again, here in the bottom of the second inning, still a scoreless ball game. As a 2-1 pitch to Bryn, a wave and a miss for strike 2. Count 2-2. Bryn yesterday 1 for 4 with a run and an RBI. The Firebirds did have 9 hits in yesterday's loss to Wareham. Only put up 4 runs though, but the Firebirds fell behind early, 12-0 after 4 innings. Trying to get on the right foot here is the 2-2 fastball outside corner, strike 3. Legend paints the outside edge and gets Bryn looking and picks up his first punch out here in the bottom half of the second inning.
That was a good pitch by Legend Smith. Just left it on the outside part of the plate, rung up Britton. And Smith, not a guy that's going to blow it by you. He's going to rely on his command. His fastball tops out at around 88 miles an hour.
So with 1 down, it's Eddie McCabe, the shortstop from Georgetown. Starts him off with an off-speed pitch that misses low and in for ball 1. Now 1 out here, nobody on the bottom of the second inning. Still a scoreless ball game. Smith kicks and fires. Off-speed pitch once again, this time on the outside corner for a strike. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, McCabe starting to put things together here over the last 3 games or so as the 1-1 pitch. McCabe pops it up and out of play. Or, excuse me, not out of play as the first baseman Samuelson goes diving in towards the fence. But I was able to make the catch as it just tossed the ball towards the Firebirds dugout. Count a ball and 2 strikes. as some dark clouds start to come in from the right field corner over by Nauset Middle School. Legend kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch as McCabe sends one into shallow right field. Down the line going is the right fielder Palmer on the run and makes the catch before heading up almost on the hill out there in right field corner. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
Thomas, I don't know if it's going to be like the fog we saw the last time these two teams played at Eldridge Park, but the clouds overhead, that might make it difficult to track some fly balls down the line. Got to give a lot of credit to Palmer to race that one down.
Especially here, like last home game, it looked like there was like a light out or something on one of these poles down there over at where Samuelson tried to dive for that catch. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. First pitch of Tanner Murray. He lifts one into shallow right field. Palmer getting his work here, coming in towards the line. On the run and makes the catch. And the Firebirds are retired here in the second. A 1-2-3 inning by the Firebirds. As, again, after 2, still scoreless ball game. As we'll send over to our silent reporter, Scotty Gange, for some more. Scotty?
First off, kind of have an exciting new addition to the Birds Broadcast Network special series that we've been doing. Of course, we've got Bird Bites. That's twice a week at the NAC, where we've got guys come in. You get to learn more about the players. But a fun new addition, it's called Lunches with the Birds, Lunches with Kelly. So this Wednesday at noon for anybody in or around Orleans, Massachusetts, where we are, of course, right now, at Nauset Grill. I'm going to be sitting down with him right in Nauset Grill. We're going to, for about an hour or so, talk about the team, talk baseball, also talk about his life, talk about his coaching philosophies, everything that goes into Kelly Nicholson and the Orleans Firebirds. That's free for anybody to come to. Just come on, grab a yummy meal at Nauset Grill. You can get a burger, you can get a sandwich, some fries, or even just a drink and relax, kick back, and listen in. We're going to get the camera on us, too, for those around the country, so we're going to upload that probably, hopefully, by the next day or so after those lunches with Kelly. And it's going to start to be a weekly thing. So Wednesdays at noon, lunches with Kelly, lunches with the Birds at Nauset Grill right here in Orleans. It's about 2 minutes away from Eldridge Park right on Main Street. So it's going to be really, really exciting. I can't wait for that. We're going to have the speakers set up. I might be wearing one of my nicer polos, you guys. So we'll see. It's going to be really fun, though.
Scotty, I've currently got a steak and cheese from Nauset Grill. I'm dead serious, by the way. If you venture back a little more than 315 feet, you'll see the steak and cheese.
I haven't actually been there. What should I get there?
Oh, there's a lot of options at Nauset Grill. You can't go wrong.
I'll give an update on Thursday.
Sounds good.
Been there a handful of times. Always a delicious meal as we start things off in the top of the third inning. First pitch runs up and in on Jake Palmer, the right fielder, for ball 1. Okay, as we mentioned before, there's really not, on any menu here on the Cape in Orleans especially, not much you can order off the menu can go wrong. 1-0 pitch showing bunt is Palmer as he punts it foul towards the Red Sox dugout. Third baseman Tanner Murray comes up and throws it to the YD ball boy. Kind of ball on the strike here on Jake Palmer. Sophomore from UC Irvine. The Anteaters make an appearance in this past season's NCAA tournament as the 1-1 curveball bends at the knees for strike 2. Kind of ball on 2 strikes. That is the March Madness basketball tournament. UC Irvine, unfortunately, falling to Pac-12 foe, the Oregon Ducks.
The Anteaters.
Yeah, one of the best mascots out there is the 1-2 from Schuster. Curveball is hit over towards the third base dugout. Almost was a wake-up call down there in the third base line.
Now, the Anteaters played in the CIT final. This is a couple of years back against the Columbia Lions at Levian Gymnasium. Columbia came out on top, but Mamaduke Njai, 7'6", 350 pounds. Big-time center for the Anteaters.
1-2 fastball. Runs low for ball 2. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. I remember him especially well because anytime there's a 7'4", 7'5" guy in college basketball like Taco Fall.
He's a big boy.
Schuster from the lineup. The 2-2 to Palmer. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Gets him on the changeup. And Schuster now starts the top of the third, the way in it. The top of the second with the punch out. Make that 3 now in this ball game.
Thomas, and this is Schuster at his finest. He gets ahead and counts with the fastball and then can go to the curve and the changeup and just make hitters look foolish.
So now it's the 9-hitter Gavin Dugas, the second baseman, as he throws off the mask of Rob Emery on that swing.
Now, Thomas, I don't want to jump the gun. We're going to go to Around the Cape very shortly, but how about the Hyannis Harbor Hawks getting a lift from Jordan Westberg, his 3rd home run in his first 3 games?
Some Austin Langworthy numbers last year, who had 5 in 5 games, as the 0-1 fastball runs off the dish, count a ball and a strike.
And we know who said Hyannis was going to make the postseason.
That's true. The 1-1. A wave and a miss for strike 2. Once again, Dukas, the second baseman, out in front.
Now we're about the halfway mark of the year. For Orleans, game 22 will be tomorrow night. Most teams kind of caught up at this point. Shy of really Falmouth.
The 1-2 from Schuster. Fastball spikes to the dirt. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So you get a sense of where everyone might be for the summer, but you've seen teams throughout the years that have a great first half and an awful second half, or vice versa. They really struggle in the first half and just click down the stretch and make the postseason and make a run.
Can make things working as the 2-2 pitch is skied up on into foul ground. Ragiel calling everybody off, and halfway between that and the dugout and the fence, he'll make the catch. So Schuster has retired the first 2 hitters in this half inning. Again, here in the top of the 3rd inning, still a scoreless ball game between the Waddy Red Sox and the Orleans Firebirds. Nobody on again, 2 outs. As top of the order rolls back around, Wyatt Young, smooth swinging shortstop for the Red Sox. From the left side, takes the first pitch off speed, low and out for ball 1. Young grounded out to Soretti at second base, first time around. Taps home plate twice. The 1-0 pitch runs up and in. As Young just slowly backs his way out. 2-0 in the count. Young out of Pepperdine. 2-0 from Schuster. Comes back with a fastball at the belt for strike 1. At .315, Matt Pepperdine this past season. Schuster trying to work backwards in this count as the 2-1 pitch is hit on the ground the other way, down the line by Young. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, just 1 hit so far for the Red Sox. That was a leadoff single to second by Riley King. As a 2-2 pitch goes over the head of Rob Emery, hits off the backstop and comes back.
Hello. That ball was up and out of the zone.
Had a little oomph to it as well.
That'll give you a wake-up call.
If you're behind the dish and you're falling asleep or something, that will wake you up.
I think the scouts saw that one.
Schuster kicks it, fires the 3-2. Curveball is sent high in the air down the left field line, trying to give it a look down there. But it'll just cross into the road of Route 28.
Look at the camera work right there by our very own Bryce Johnson. That was impeccable. That was impressive.
Bryce Johnson working the camera here, our producer. As Schuster kicks and fires the 3-2 once more. This time, Wyatt Young sends it in fair ground behind the second baseman, Soretti, who backstruck out to the outfield grass and makes the catch. So Schuster works another 1-2-3 inning here at Eldridge Park, as Young is retired for the second time tonight. As we'll take a look around the Cape at what is going on throughout the rest of the league. Harwich took game 1 of a 2-game doubleheader at home against Wareham 2-0. The Harbor Hawks, as you mentioned, also playing a doubleheader. They defeated Bourne 6-4 in game 1. In game 2, they were up against Bourne, but in the bottom of the 4th, Bourne retakes the lead. They lead the Harbor Hawks by a score of 8-7. Mariners all over the game and in game 2 as well, trying to take 2 as Harwich leads the game in 10-3 in the top of the 5th inning. Over at Stony Brook Field, in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Commodores are leading the Whitecaps late in that ball game, 4-3. And then Chatham and Katuitt are underway. We don't have a score by that one, as the Anglers currently lead the East with 27 points, 13-7-1. Waddy just right behind them with 25, 12-7-1. And the Firebirds with 24 points, they are 11-7-2. Again, plenty of ball game to be left here. Here on the Cape. As we'll take a short break from Eldridge Park. Listen to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Home half of the third inning as the Firebirds look to get on the board first here at Eldridge Park. It's Shea Whitcomb, the DH tonight. Open stance on the right side, facing the left-hander Legend Smith. Smith kicks and fires a two-seam fastball that bends down at the knees for strike one. Whitcomb, Emery, and Jacob Hurtubise. So 8-9-1 due up for the Firebirds. 2 hits so far for the Birds. As the 0-1 curveball, Whitcomb fouls off his foot at the dish as it trickles down the third base line. To count 0-2 on Whitcomb. Whitcomb so far down the count 0-2, trying to start things off for the Firebirds here in this half inning. Whitcomb 1 for 4 with a run scored yesterday. Had that big double against the Gaiman as the 0-2 pitch runs up and off the plate. Count of ball and 2 strikes. Had a double in the 5th inning yesterday as Zach Brin was over at first base. That would produce 2 runs in that 5th inning. As the 1-2 pitch, Whitcomb fouls it back to the screen. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Both Brin and Whitcomb scored on the Zach Daniels RBI double hitter. Firebirds starting to swing the bat, just like Shea Whitcomb is. 7 for 35 so far. Average at 200 as the 1-2 fastball runs over the head of Shea Whitcomb. Austin Mose, the catcher, nabs it upstairs. Count 2-2. Whitcomb steps out. Now will step back in. Smith kicks and fires the 2-2 pitch. Whitcomb skies it up behind the dish and out of play. As that will head into the woods across Route 28. Again, the sky continued to darken here. You look down the road of Route 28 to our right towards the town center of Orleans. Not so good. Alec Kenning, our silent reporter and beat writer. As a 2-2 pitch outside corner, strike 3 call. And Shea Whitcomb goes down.
Did you forget about me,
Wait.
buddy?
We have more important things to talk about. You know how I know it's going to rain? Paige Thompson didn't say it's a 90% chance to rain.
I did.
So therefore it's going to rain.
Thomas just blatantly forgot about me.
Wait, who's this voice
Going
I'm
home.
hearing?
I'm going home.
Who is this voice?
The question is, Scotty, how are you going to get home? That is the question.
Oh! What if it's raining?
First pitcher, Rob Emery,
With my
curveball
headaches.
at the belt for strike 1. I'm sorry, Scott, if I offended you.
Wow. What a very sincere apology.
It's been a long day out here, I can tell you. The 0-1 of Rob Emery, a wave and a miss for strike 2. Count 0-2.
It's the 3rd inning, Thomas.
I've been out in the sun since 6:45
No one knows that.
this
They
morning.
just know you showed up to call a great baseball game.
That's true. I put a smile on my face every time I'm here. The 0-2 to Emery. Fastball just misses the outside corner. Count a ball and 2 strikes.
Also, by the way, Hyannis has taken the lead back. They lead 9-8 in the 4th against Bourne.
Don't let the Harbor Hawks get on. The 1-2 to Emery, a wave and a miss for strike 3, and Smith retires the first 2 Firebirds via the strikeout here in the 3rd inning. That's his 3rd in this ball game.
This guy's low-key a legend. He's been great on the mound. Just after working around that single by Max Troiani, he's retired the last 6 batters he's faced, 3 of them with a punch-out.
So quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Nobody on for the Firebirds. Hurtubise, the center fielder, rolls back around in the top of the order. First pitch fastball at the knees for strike 1. Just 3 hits combined between both sides. Lefty-lefty matchup, the 0-1. Paints another fastball at the bottom part of the zone, count 0-2. Hurtubise accounts for 1 of the 2 hits so far. Trani, the other single. As Josh mentioned, back in the 1st inning. The 0-2 to Hurtubise, curveball he just reaches for and slaps it It's almost like a Vlad Guerrero swing. The ball almost bounced, and Hurtubise made contact.
He stayed alive. That's a good way to stay alive in an AB. Throw everything you got at it.
Count. No balls in, 2 strikes. The pitch. Curveball is slapped over the third base dugout, almost hitting a car straight on Route 28.
If we can get some assistance here from Bryce Johnson, just looking at the ominous clouds down the right field line, and it is getting dark right now at Eldridge Park.
Our broadcast area just got wicked dark as the 0-2 pitch is chopped foul up the first base side.
This could be fun. We could have some fun here.
Alec Hennon, our beat writer.
Beat writer, not sideline reporter.
He is part-time job.
He kicked it out of the park, though.
50% rain and thunderstorms at 8 o'clock here at Eldridge Park. The 1-2 pitch, or I mean the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Blocked by the catcher, Wells. Kind of ball and 2 strikes.
Thomas, if this is going to be 50%, I'm 6'5". It's going to rain here. I think that's safe to say.
Well, the weathermen, they don't want to be wrong, so say, it's a 50-50 chance. 1-2 pitch, a curveball, chop in the middle. And scooped up by the shortstop. Throw over to first base. And Hurtubise is retired. Wyatt Young on the run with a cannon retires. Jacob Hurtubise, a 1-2-3 inning worked by Legend Smith, retires. Whitcomb, a number review of the strikeout. And after 3, it is still a scoreless ball game here at Eldridge Park as hopefully it doesn't rain.
Wow, what a way to phrase that.
And now we'll send over to our sideline reporter, Scotty Gage, who is with Kel Nicholson. Scotty.
Thanks, guys. Coach, per usual, Jarod Schuster is dealing up on the mound. What have you seen from him tonight?
A lot of command, right? Both guys, both lefties have had a lot of command tonight, and they're keeping the ball down and throwing a lot of strikes, and results in a 0-0 game so far.
Offensively, like you said, Ian Seymour, he's doing the same thing on their end. What would you like to see in terms of a change or adjustment going forward?
I'd like to see us get some doubles and homers, right? And get some guys out base, and never a bad time for a 3-run home run.
I'm interested with the rain clouds coming in. Does that change the way you approach this game?
Bit. You know, we might have to play for a run here coming up. If I just told Coach Eigerbrodt, I think the rain's supposed to come in about 9:30. Yeah. So I think we're going to be okay, but it looks pretty ominous right now. It looks pretty dark, doesn't
scary.
It? Yeah, it is a little bit scary. So I think we'll be okay.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Right,
good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, you bet.
Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Scotty and Skip. And Skip, a part-time weatherman himself. Rain coming in at 9:30. Hopefully it holds off for another 90 minutes or so. Firebirds and Red Sox scoreless as we head to the top of the 4th here at Eldridge Park. And Noah Campbell will lead off the inning for YD. Set to face Jarod Schuster, who's only surrendered 1 hit the first time around. Here's the first pitch from the southpaw. Breaking ball nips the outside corner for strike 1. Campbell popped up his first time up. Just a lazy fly ball into shallow right field for the second baseman Serretti to handle. Lefty on righty matchup, the 0-1. Fastball cut on and missed, and it's 0-2. The dark gray clouds settling above the right side, now transitioning all around the outfield. The lights starting to beam a little brighter here at Eldridge Park. The 0-2. Breaking ball misses low, and it's 1-2. Campbell coming into tonight, 3 for 5 against Orleans this summer, with a home run and 3 RBIs. 1-2 the count. Schuster steps off the rubber. Flag in center field, starting to gust a little harder, blowing from right to left. 1-2. Fastball runs low and in, just at the knees of Campbell, and it's 2-2. Schuster across the first 10 batters. Just surrendered 1 hit and struck out 3. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball waved out and missed, strike 3. Schuster shows the hook. Campbell goes fishing, and there's 1 away here in the 4th. So a strong start for Jarod Schuster, who's retired the last 7 he has faced. And that will bring up the catcher from Arizona, Austin Wells. Rob Emery comes out to have a chat with Schuster on the bump. Just probably the game plan for Wells, who has been one of the best hitters in the Cape Cod Baseball League so far this summer. Wells 0 for 1 tonight, struck out looking his first time up, but leads the Cape in home runs, RBIs, and slugging percentage. Ranks top 10 in 11 different categories. Lefty on lefty matchup. Schuster gets the sign. Out of the windup, the first pitch. Breaking ball bounces low in the right-handed batter's box for ball 1. Orleans nothing, Yarmouth Dennis nothing, here with 1 away in the top of the 4th. Wells back in from the left side, 1-0. Fastball nips the inside corner, and it's 1-1. Wells batting .333 this summer with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. The 1-1. Breaking ball bounces low behind the dish. Emery scoops it out, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. The only team Austin Wells hasn't hit so far this summer, the Orleans Firebirds. 2-1. Fastball above the letters, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. After the strikeout in the first inning, Wells is 0 for 6 against Orleans in 2019. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball tipped into Emery's glove, and the count runs full. And the rain starting to fall here at Eldridge Park at around 7:45 p.m. 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Payoff pitch. Fastball hit on a line right at the shortstop, Eddie McCabe, to his left shoulder, and there's 2 away.
Oh, that ball was hit on a rope by Austin Wells, but right out the shortstop, Eddie McCabe. That's what we saw in yesterday's ball game, where the Firebirds hits a couple hard hit balls like Zach Daniels hit 2 absolute bombs yesterday, but all the way to straightaway center, where it was 400.
The wind starting to pick up. The rain starting to fall lightly here in Orleans. First pitch to Riley King. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. King, the lone hit of the ball game so far for YD. A single to open up the second. Lefty on righty matchup, the 0-1. Breaking ball chopped to the left side. The shortstop McCabe scoots to his right, bobbles the ball. Sidearm throw to first in time. So it beats King by a step, and Jarod Schuster tosses another 1-2-3 inning. He has retired the last 10 he has faced here at Eldridge Park. Through the first 3.5, Orleans and YD scoreless. You're listening to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Here's the 1-2 pitch again. It's a breaker that Samuelson just looked like he was swinging a tennis racket at and couldn't make contact. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Wilcox. And they're
way to go back in there to Andrew Abbott. 1-2 fast.
The 1-0 pitch. Fastball catches the inside corner, and it's 1-1. And you home half of the 4th we go here at Eldridge Park. Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis scoreless. And the man, the myth, the legend, Smith, heads back out. The southpaw from Oklahoma set to face Danny Soretti. First pitch. Breaking ball drops on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Soretti is last time up a fielder's choice. Switch hitting second baseman from North Carolina. 0-1. Breaking ball clobbered up the left side but foul. And it's 0-2. Soretti starting to heat up for the Firebirds, riding a 5-game hit streak into tonight's ball game. Batting .350 over that stretch. Making his 10th appearance in the Orleans red. Sporting the high red socks from the right side. 0-2 the count, the pitch. Fastball bounces low, and it's 1-2. Just 3 combined hits between the two sides. Both pitchers have been extremely effective on the mound. Smith out of the windup. Here's the 1-2. Fastball flared down the right side and out of play, and we'll do it again. Jarod Schuster, the southpaw on the bump for the Orleans Firebirds, has only allowed one base runner. That came back in the second. He has set down the last 9 he has faced. The 1-2 from Smith. Breaking ball tapped up the third base side, right at the third baseman King charging in. Bullet across the diamond in time for the first out of the inning. Make it 8 in a row retired by legend Smith, and these two left-handers are dealing with rain in the forecast.
It's a typical Orleans Firebirds game. It's a pitcher's duel. Well, of course, the last 3 games or so it hasn't been more of the offensive side of things, but getting right back on track here.
So here comes Max Troiani, the last Firebird to reach base. He knocked a single back in the first. First pitch from the southpaw Smith. Curveball catches the outside corner for strike 1. Yarmouth Dennis nothing, Orleans nothing. 1 away in the home half of the fourth. Troiani back in from the right side, waving the all-black bat over the right shoulder. 0-1. Breaking ball that ties up Troiani, and it's 0-2. Max has reached base in 8 straight ball games after that single in the first. Entered tonight with a .313 average, just outside the top 10 in the Cape. 0-2, fastball that had Troiani beat. He fouls it off, back out of play, and it's 0-2. So Troiani's starting to cool off, just 1 for his last 10, but he's been red hot against YD this summer. 5 for 9, 0-2. Fastball that runs off the plate, and it's 1-2. And an entire Max Troiani cheering section at Eldridge Park tonight. Littered on the first base side. The 1-2. Fastball up in the zone, waved out and missed, strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Legend Smith. The man, the myth, the legend continues to grow. He's retired the last 9, and there's 2 away.
We call it Bird Gang here for all the Firebirds. How about the Troiani Gang? Get that hashtag going on Twitter.
We will get a pinch hitter here for Orleans. Raymond Gill will be subbed out, and Zach Daniels, an outfielder from Tennessee, will come in to pinch hit. And we saw Gill hobbling a little bit earlier in this ball game, tried to stay in, but Daniels will come on for the Orleans Firebirds. 2 quick outs here in the last of the fourth with the Firebirds and the Red Sox scoreless. So Daniels just batting a .186 so far this summer, in from the right side. First pitch, curveball taken on the outside corner for strike 1. Daniels went 1 for 4 and drove in 2 with a double against Wareham yesterday. 2 of the 4 runs scored by Orleans. 0-1, another breaker. This one misses upstairs. And it's 1-1. But Daniels played a very interesting part in that Chatham game a couple nights ago at Eldridge Park on the 4th of July. The 1-1 from Smith. Fastball cut on and missed, and it's 1-2. In the 8th inning, with the Firebirds down by 5, Zach Daniels crushed a ball to left field that Jamal O'Gwyn had his back against the fence. And with everyone on their feet at Eldridge Park thinking it might go for a grand salami, O'Gwyn caught it. 1-2. Fastball misses up and away, and it's 2-2. Now you think that's the end of the tale, and it's not. Daniels came up with the tying run 90 feet away for Orleans and the winning run on base, with the Firebirds down to their last out in the home half of the 9th on Independence Day, and Daniels went down looking to a position player. 2-2. Breaking ball, Daniels goes fishing. Strike 3. The man, the myth, the legend continues to grow. Smith has retired the last 10. He picks up his 5th K, and after 4, Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis scoreless. Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Scotty Gage. Scotty, let's hope you're staying dry.
Dude, I'm staying dry. You guys, I can see it. You guys are under a little umbrella. It's not even raining. I felt like a half a raindrop on me. But first off, it's a fantastic night. It really is. Hopefully, and I mean this sincerely, the rain does not come down, because I really am enjoying this game. It's really fun to watch. But what's also fun is Land Ho. This is, honestly, it's my favorite ad read, and I said this last game. that I at least said it. We don't have to do these, but we like to do them because a place like the Land Ho is actually really fun to go to. They've got the chicken burgers. They've got the chicken parm. Josh, that's what you like. You like the chicken parm, right? I think so. Yeah, I think Josh likes the chicken parm. I like the double cheeseburger. I get pickles and lettuce on it. If you ever give me tomatoes and onions, no, I do not like that. But the Land Ho is pretty
Alec
cool.
Hendon will eat it for you. Don't worry.
The Land Ho is pretty cool because for over 50 years they've been a part of this town of Orleans. And I say the town because it's such a small and quaint and really just adorable place. Guys, my mom's coming next week, and she has lived in San Diego, California her entire life, despite the 4 years of living in Los Angeles, 4 or 5 years. So for her to see this area, for her to see Land Ho and be a part of it, it's really going to be cool. And my favorite line I get to say in my entire life, when you go to Land Ho, you hit a ho-ho, a ho-ho home run. It's ridiculous, but I like to say it. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
What about the shout-out for Angie Ganji?
Angie Ganji, she's coming on, man.
Allison White in the ballpark tonight as well.
Right?
Jarod Schuster back out there. First pitch to Brad Beasley, rocking it down to left field. Troiani ranging back. He's able to make the grab, and a roar from the Troiani section. And there's one away.
Well, Troiani hunted down this ball. Hurtubise didn't come over and take it away from him this time. But the Troiani gang continues to grow here at Eldridge Park with every time he's at the dish or every time he makes a play in the field. That was also a well-run-down ball.
So the first pitch to Tate Samuelson. Fastball swung on, hit out to right field. Zach Daniels, who remains in the game to play right, trots in, makes the grab. And on 2 pitches, there's 2 away.
Well, that's one way to be efficient out there on the hill. Throw a couple first pitch strikes and a couple flyouts as well.
So will Andrew Eister swing on the next pitch? There's been 2 pitches and 2 away, with the Firebirds and the Red Sox scoreless here in the 5th. Zach Daniels remaining in the ballgame to play right. Zach Britton shifts to first base with Raymond Gill out due to an apparent injury. Lefty on righty matchup. First pitch to Eister. Fastball misses off the plate for ball 1.
And I think that when it's going to be a situation like that, you just take the first pitch. It doesn't matter if it's an unbelievable fastball.
The 1-0. Fastball that misses low and outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And yeah, you have to for sure. You never want to give a pitcher a 3-pitch inning. And Schuster has set down the last 11 to add to that. You really want to make him work. 2-0. Fastball bounces low. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Eister struck out swinging his first time up. One of 4 strikeout victims for Jarod Schuster. 3-0 the count to the Red Sox 7-hole hitter. Schuster out of the windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, foul back to the screen, and it's 3-1. So how about that? Lays off the 3rd pitch of the inning to prevent the 3-pitch frame, but then swings and gets the green light on 3-out.
Baseball, man, baseball. Crazy stuff like that.
3-1 pitch. Fastball line down the right side and out of play, and the count runs full. So good battle back by Jarod Schuster, who has just tossed 7 pitches in this inning so far, and it's 1 strike away from setting down the Red Sox in order. Eister taking his time. Left fielder from South Carolina steps back in. Here's the payoff pitch. Breaking ball in there, called strike 3. Jarod Schuster freezes Andrew Eister. Make it 12 in a row, retired by Schuster. And the southpaw from Wake Forest is humming. We're halfway home here at Eldridge Park. Nothing doing for Orleans. Nothing doing for YD. And Thomas in the middle of the 5th. Let's check out some of the league leaders and the standings so far, nearly halfway through the summer.
Well, we mentioned Chatterman was in first place. Waddy just up 2 points behind him. As over in the West Division, Wareham 11-9-1 with 23 points. Catuit 10-9-2 with 22. Close race out there between the Cavemen and Catuit, but Wareham dropping now to 11-11-1 out on the Cape as the Cavemen were lost game 1 of the doubleheader to Harwich, and they were down by 7 late in that ball game. We'll have to see what's going on there. They have put up a run, but they're down to their final ups. They're down 10-4, so if that result holds, they'll move to 11-11-1. The Commodores of Falmouth 9-8-1 in 3rd place with 19 points. Bourne 7-12 with 14, and Hyannis 4-16-1 on the year, but they have won one of the 2 doubleheader games against Bourne today. Game 2 in the bottom of the 5th. They lead Bourne 13-8. So if you like offense, you should have gone to McKean Park today.
If you don't like offense, don't come to Eldridge Park. But please listen to the Birds Broadcast Network. Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis entrenched in a pitcher's duel. Just 3 combined hits between the two sides, and Legend Smith heads back out for the 5th. Zach Britton, the first baseman, steps in. Here's the first pitch. Curveball misses upstairs for ball 1. Britton started the ball game in right field, has shifted to first after Raymond Gill was taken out of the game. The 1-0. Fastball runs high and tight. It's 2 balls and no strikes. So Legend Smith, making his first start of the summer, just pitched 3 days ago out of the pen, mind you. And he's going on to his 5th inning. 2-0. Fastball popped behind the dish. The catcher Wells tosses the mask. He tracks it down to the third base side, makes the grab for the first out of the frame. And this looks easy for both arms on the hill. Schuster has set down the last 12 he has faced. And now make it 11 in a row, retired by Smith. It's now Eddie McCabe, the batter for the Orleans Firebirds. Shortstop from Georgetown steps in from the right side. Smith, the southpaw, first pitch. Fastball misses low for ball 1. We've seen Orleans in their fair share of pitchers' duels this summer. The Firebirds, the best pitching team on the Cape before last night. The 1-0 offering. Breaking ball bounces past the catcher Wells, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. When you give up 15 runs, it's hard to stay leading the league in ERA. The Firebirds have fallen down to the 5 spot, but still boast a .371 earned run average as a staff. Yarmouth Dennis, on the other hand, they're second to last at .444. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball clobbered out to right field. Palmer on the run. He's retreating back to his left. Camps under it, makes the grab in right center for the second out of the inning.
I honestly love to see pitchers' duels like this. You know, the game just gets by real quickly, and, well, I just love pitchers' duel, less offense.
And here comes the rain at Eldridge Park. They said it would come at 8 o'clock. It is 8:02 and right on cue. First pitch to Tanner Murray. Fastball bounces low for ball 1. Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis scoreless with 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0. Fastball misses up and away. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And how about this? If Tanner Murray somehow hits a home run, that might do it here at Eldridge Park. The home plate umpire, John Torres, puts his hands up, and it looks like we might be going into a rain delay. So the rain comes pouring down at Eldridge Park at 8:02. Torres throws his hands up. Jamie Quinn, the third base coach, coming in. And Kelly Nicholson coming out. And how about this? Legend Smith and Tanner Murray sharing a laugh in front of the plate. So Kelly asking for an explanation. Scott Pickler out of the third base dugout. And now the rain has stopped.
Now the rain has stopped. I think they just want to get through. They only need one more out here, and it's a complete game. Each team gets a point.
Now a roar from the Orleans dugout. We're going to keep on playing. Let's play some more baseball here at Eldridge Park. 1 out away from making this an official ball game. The Firebirds and the Red Sox scoreless. 2-0 the count to Tanner Murray, third baseman from UC Davis. Lefty on righty matchup. The pitch. Fastball cut on and missed, and it's 2-1. And what are the chances that Smith and Murray discussed what he would throw to Murray in this AB to try and end this ball game? 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball waved out and missed, and it's 2-2.
A little collusion going on.
So the legend of Smith continues to grow. He has set down the last 12 and 1 strike away from making it 13. 2-2 the pitch. Fastball fouled back, and we'll do it again. So the rain has stopped at Eldridge Park. A very similar deal like we saw the last time these two teams faced off in Orleans. Rained for about 10 minutes. We were delayed, and then we played some more ball. 3-2, nasty curveball. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Make it 13 in a row, retired by Legend Smith. And Thomas, we've played an official game here at Eldridge Park. Just 3 combined hits between the two sides, as the Firebirds and the Red Sox are scoreless. And let's send it over to Scotty Gaines. Scotty, seems like we're getting a little hungry.
Hungry. Did you guys get wet, or were you under that little umbrella you set up?
My scorebook is a little wet. My steak and cheese sandwich from Nauset Grill.
No.
No. It's okay.
No. Oh!
The box is wet, but it's okay.
Well, the sandwich is all right.
The sandwich is okay. My left arm is a little wet, but I think it'll grow back. It'll be okay.
Okay, life is good. You know, it's like the T-shirts with the little surfer guy that says "Life is good." That's Josh White right there. Life is good. It's okay.
Positive is how I live.
You mentioned one sandwich. I'm going to bring it to another sandwich. You know I love the Knack. You seriously know that. Not only because they've got the great cheeseburgers and the hamburgers and the fries, onion rings too, and a lobster roll, which I haven't tried, but I really need to try their lobster rolls, but also because they house Bird Bites. I know, we talk about it every game, Bird Bites. I sit down with the player, we eat lunch, blah, 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 blah. But we really do get to learn more about these guys. You know, took out Eddie McCabe. He's the oldest of 5. So he kind of treats his life in that way, and the fact that he always wants to be a bigger person than himself so that his 4 younger siblings can see that and learn from his example. Oh my goodness. Wow, what a mid-hit. I'm live here. Come on, I'm live.
Is that my friend Jesse
nice.
Frazier? Oh, it's not Jesse Frazier.
That was not Jesse Frazier, our Orlando correspondent, because we're talking about the Knack. The second part, Danny Soretti. He's a design major at UNC. Or not
Tanner
Dennis Reddy,
Murray.
excuse me, Tanner Murray at UC Davis. He's a design major. Me and him, we kind of broke down what that means to him and how that helps him in a different sense for baseball. So that's coming out later this weekend. It's going to be really exciting. The full conversation. We played the sneak peek a few times. We'll play it later in the game, but it's really, really exciting. And I got an umbrella there for a little bit. That was pretty nice, right?
It was pretty. Scotty, all I can say is I have an extra golf umbrella if you really.
Oh, golf, Thomas. We're at the baseball field. Come on.
Well, it is an umbrella, so that's what they call it.
I think I'm way too funny, dude. We'll send it back to you. I'm going to go find some cover. I'll talk to Lisa Radke. She's got all the tents here.
Big shout out for Lisa Radke. Excellent host parent, and you know what she might be even better at, and she's a very skilled woman. But running the retail shop here at Eldridge Park.
Well, if you ever at Eldridge Park and you want some Firebirds gear, go talk to Lisa. She knows what she's talking about.
So, look who's coming in. It's Jake Eder, the southpaw from Vanderbilt, set to make his Orleans Firebirds debut. Eder, his last appearance, he was pitching out in Omaha and clinched a national championship for the Vanderbilt Commodores. So with the Firebirds and the Red Sox scoreless as we head to the top of the 6th, the southpaw from Vandy toes the rubber from the first base side. First pitch to Jake Palmer. Fastball upstairs for ball 1. Let's close the line on Jarod Schuster, who was phenomenal in this ball game. 5 innings of scoreless baseball, only allowed 1 base runner. Surrendered 1 hit and struck out 5. Lefty on lefty matchup. Eder out of the windup, 1-0. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Schuster retired the final 12 batters he faced. The only base runner he surrendered was back in the 2nd inning on a leadoff base hit. Eder rocks and fires the 1-1. Batter shows bunt, pulls back on the breaking ball upstairs, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Eder this past season for the Vandy boys. 16 appearances out of the bullpen, 1-0 with a 2.97 ERA. Struck out 35 and 33 and a third. 2-1. Fastball right down the pipe. Palmer loses the bat down the first base side beyond the Orleans dugout, and it's allowed. Strike number 2.
Just shows you a little moisture on that barrel, and maybe on the batting gloves as well. As Palmer retrieves the bat from first base coach down there.
So they'll get some pine tar on that bat. We've seen it a couple times so far this summer. And now some big news. Hyannis just tweeted a rain delay. So I'm going to take it as rain delay. But they're up 13-8 in the top of the 6th. 13-8, Harbor Hawks lead in the top of the 6th inning. Big news. 2-2 the count to Jake Palmer. Wind starting to blow in a little harder at Eldridge Park with the rain out of the forecast now. At least we hope. Here's the pitch. Fastball upstairs, and the count runs full. It'll be 8-9 and 1-2 up in this inning for Yarmouth Dennis. Jake Palmer, the right fielder, in a full count battle with Jake Eater. Gavin Dugas waiting on deck, and Wyatt Young in the hole. Eater stares in for the side from Emery. Rocks in, fires the payoff pitch. Breaking ball waved out and missed, strike 3. Make it 13 in a row, retired by the Orleans pitching staff. And there's one away here in the 6th.
It's pure nasty stuff from Eater there. In the dirt to get Palmer swinging. Did want to swing, but the barrel was already across the dish.
So now Gavin Dugas, the batter, the first pitch. Fastball broken, bat flared into shallow center field. Center fielder Hurtaby's coming on. This one drops down for a base knock. So Yarmouth Dennis, their first hit since the 2nd inning. And that snaps a stretch of 13 in a row set down by the Firebirds pitching staff.
Well, the Firebirds pitching staff has been phenomenal, and all streaks have to come to an end. Jarod Schuster was dominant on the mound for his outing. It's funny, though, Eddie McCabe running out to get that ball, dropped his hat for the 2nd time it ran off. I wonder if the hat's too big. Maybe it's a new hat for him or something.
So now 4 hits in this ball game, 2 for either side. And Eater will work out of the stretch. First pitch to Young. Fastball swung on, line down the left side, and out of play for strike 1. And we've played the first 5+ innings in a little more than an hour at Eldridge Park. A sense of urgency for both of these two sides, knowing the rains in the forecast. 0-0 between Orleans and YD with a runner on first and 1 away. Eater set from the third base side. He'll check on the runner at first, and Dugas dives back in.
That's why we saw a couple of both sides really trying to bunt men over with nobody out when they get a leadoff man guy in the first or second inning because they want those runs early on. Obviously, no runs have come across here so far.
Dugas aboard at first. He's 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts this summer. Southpaw's 0-1, runner going. Breaking ball misses outside. Throw down from Emery. Not in time. So Dugas swipes his first bag of the summer, and the Red Sox have a runner in scoring position with only 1 away.
Well, Dugas, good pitch to run on and able to take a base. And now the Red Sox have a man in scoring position, so a single can score a run here.
The first runner tonight for YD to reach second base. They had not had a runner get past first. That was Riley King back in the 2nd. Orleans has only had 1 runner in scoring position tonight. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Young. Fastball up in the zone. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And talk about this battle. Wyatt Young at 5'7" and Jake Eater at 6'5". Looking at a 10-inch difference in height. Now add in the mound for Jake Eater, and he's just staring down on top of Wyatt Young. Young 0 for 2 tonight. Here's the 2-1. Fastball spiked low. Emery blocks it down, and the count's 3 balls and 1 strike. Seems like the Firebirds faithful have dissipated just a little bit after the rain on the first base side. But still plenty of troopers sticking this one out at Eldridge Park. For those of you who have left the ballpark and have tuned into the Birds Broadcast Network, we thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us. Here's the 3-1. Fastball skied down the left side onto Route 28, and the count runs full. So Jake Eater, a little more than a week ago now, was out at TD Ameritrade, finishing off a national championship run for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Now comes out to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, to pitch for the Orleans Firebirds. In the heart of a pitcher's duel. 4 combined hits between the two sides. Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis scoreless, with a runner in scoring position and 1 away in the top of the 6th. 3-2 the count to Wyatt Young, who leads the Cape in hitting. Entered tonight, batting .389. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball flared into shallow center field. Hurtaby's on the run, charges in, comes back, makes the grab, and able to record an adventurous second out.
Yeah, it started off, he started coming in and then realized he'd go back a little and jumped up and made the grab. So at least able to make the catch out there in the end was the result. And Dugas now will advance on that.
So that will bring up Noah Campbell, the DH, who's been on a red-hot tear himself. Campbell 0 for 2 tonight, but hitting .333 this summer. First pitch from Eater. Fastball misses low for ball 1. Campbell struck out swinging his last time up. One of 5 strikeout victims for Jarod Schuster. And you got to give YD a lot of credit. They've put the ball in play a ton tonight. A lot of quick outs. Lefty on righty matchup in a scoreless ball game with a runner on second and 2 away. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball drops on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. So a nasty hook from Eater, former draft pick by the New York Mets. Won in the 34th round back in 2017. This is the #1 left-handed pitcher out of Florida in that class. 43rd overall in the country. Elected to take his talents to Vanderbilt, and things have worked out well. Was kind of that swingman as a true freshman. Made some midweek starts for the Commodores. Now a mainstay at the back end of Vanderbilt's bullpen. Noah Campbell trying to break this scoreless tie here in the 6th. The 1-1. Fastball misses low and in. It's 2 balls and 1 strike now.
Now, it's ironic that here on the mound you have Eater, a national champion of this year, but also South Carolina going back-to-back national championships. Obviously a little longer back ago, but...
Well, we're talking quite some time now. At least 5-6 years. 2-1. Fastball misses low and in. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
I want to say 2010, 2011?
Yeah, at least. It's not 2011. No, it might be 11 because Matthew Troop, the Orleans Firebirds pitching coach, won it in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that 13? They all blend together.
I'll lose track.
3-1 the count to Noah Campbell. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses low and in, ball 4. First walk issued by Orleans tonight. And the Red Sox have some offense, and Austin Wells, who leads the Cape in RBIs, will dig in.
Well, before we get to Wells, I just want to say, you're on the all-name team here on the Cape. Now, I don't know if you remember on that South Carolina team that won a back-to-back, probably the best name out of any college baseball player, any college athlete ever, Joey Pancake.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the name.
How about Joey Chestnut?
Joey Chestnut.
Winning another Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
I don't think I could eat, 72 hot dogs?
I think that's his 12th victory. Here's the first pitch to Austin Wells. Fastball misses low for ball 1. Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis. Pitcher's duel here at Eldridge Park, but the Red Sox threatening for the first time tonight. YD has runners on first and second with 2 outs. And the Red Sox so far this summer hitting .323 with runners on base. Austin Wells back in from the left side. He's 0 for 2. Here's the 1-0. Fastball runs high inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Now Wells, probably sitting middle in dead red, looking for a heater to turn on. Leads the Cape with 5 homers and 18 RBIs in his first 20 games. Has yet to record a hit this summer against the Orleans Firebirds. Here's the 2-0. Fastball right down the chute. Wells takes a big hack, and it's 2-1.
Wells just needs to put a ball in play here, trying to put it through a hole. Again, a base hit would score 1.
So 2-1 the count to the 3-hole hitter, Austin Wells. The pitch. Fastball skied down the left side. This one runs out of play, and it's 2-2. So Jacob Eater, who's bounced in and out of the strike zone in this inning, struck out Jake Palmer with ease, made him look foolish with a 3-2 curveball. Then gave up a flare shot off the bat of Gavin Dugas. Got a line out from Wyatt Young, issued a free pass to Noah Campbell. 2 on with 2 away in the top of the 6th. Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis scoreless. 2-2 the count, the pitch. Runners going, fastball fouled back, and we'll do it again.
Interesting there with 2 balls and 2 strikes. A double steal put on by Scott Pickler. A hit and run looked like as well as Wells was swinging on the pitch.
You've got good speed on the base paths. Gavin Dugas aboard at second. Noah Campbell on at first. Jake Eder, 23 pitches in the inning, 12 balls, 11 strikes. 2-2. Breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Another nasty hook from Jake Eder freezes Austin Wells, and the side is retired. The Yarmouth Red Sox score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 2 runners left on base. After 5.5, Firebirds and Red Sox tied at 0 apiece. And Thomas, let's look around the Cape Cod Baseball League. There's a game at McKeon Park that must call our attention first. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks looking to sweep a doubleheader over the Bourne Braves. They lead the Braves 13-8 on their home turf in a rain delay. Not a rain delay, a ran delay. That's very important. I don't know if Scotty Gaines has joined in at the track affair at McKeon Park, but we'll see if he gets there shortly. Falmouth defeated Brewster in 8 innings, 4-3 at Stony Brook Field. The Harwich Mariners beating up on Wareham 13-4. And here at Eldridge Park, Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis scoreless in the middle of the 6th. We'll take a short break. You listen to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. So the legend is done for Legend Smith. He lasts 5 innings here at Eldridge Park with the Firebirds and the Red Sox scoreless. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, Oscar Carvajal, the right-hander from Fresno State, comes in to make his CCBL debut. First pitch to Shea Whitcomb. He shows bunt, nubs up the third base side. Carvajal barehands, throw off his back foot, not in time. So Shea Whitcomb snaps a streak of 13 in a row retired, and Whitcomb picks up the Firebirds' 3rd hit of the night.
I thought it was an interesting decision by Carvajal to field that ball because, I mean, at that point, with Whitcomb's speed, it's going to be hard to get him. Why not just try to see if the ball will go foul down the third base line? Obviously, it's not a guarantee it's going to go there, but still a better shot, especially with the downpour we had earlier. The ground's going to be a little more wet out there.
So the Firebirds with a runner on first and nobody down in the last of the 6th. In just a ball game that has featured 5 combined hits. Righty on righty matchup. Emery squaring around, first pitch. Breaking ball whiffed out and missed for strike 1. Throw behind the runner, Whitcomb at first. He's back in time. So let's give you the final line on Legend Smith in his first start at the collegiate level. Smith went 5 innings of scoreless baseball, surrendered just 2 hits, and struck out 6. So both starting pitchers went 5 scoreless. 0-1 to Emery, breaking ball up in the zone, bunted foul, and it's 0-2.
You can tell the Fibers really trying to manufacture a run here with both sides. The offensive bats not really coming together here. Again, Fibers with 3 hits, Whitey with 2, and Fibers had 2 to 3 hits come in the first inning.
No balls and 2 strikes, the Birds' 9-hole hitter, and Riley King, the third baseman, still in on the grass. Emery squares around the 0-2, fastball taken outside, and it's 1-2. Orleans trying to just scratch across a run in what's been hard to come by here at Eldridge Park. Runs a premium between one of the best pitching teams in the Cape and the Red Sox. Emery squaring around once again, 1-2, breaking ball, pops it up, gets it down. The pitcher Carvajal comes on, throws to second in time, on to first, And they got him. A 1-6-3 double play. The Birds are unable to get down the sack bunt, and there's 2 away.
You really can't blame Rob Emery either, because with 2 strikes, all you want to do is just get it down. And he at least got it down with 2 strikes on it, but just an even better play by the pitcher. Smith on the hill, throws it to second base and a quick turn up the middle, and they get a double play.
So Carvajal thrusted into action and makes it count right away. First pitch to Jacob Hurtubise. Fastball misses outside the zone for ball 1. Hurtubise his 3rd time up tonight. Here's the 1-0. Fastball bounces low. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Hurtubise singled to lead off the bottom of the 1st. Went down with a ground out to end the 3rd. 2-0 the count. Hurtubise out of Army back in. 2-0 from Carvajal. Fastball up in the zone. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Orleans nothing. Yarmouth Dennis nothing. 2 away here in the last of the 6th inning. The 3-0 fastball taken down the chute, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. So the Firebirds have had 3 hits tonight. The Red Sox 2. And what we've seen so many times in the early parts of the summer for the Orleans Firebirds, have not seen it the last few games. 3-1, fastball chopped to the left side. Going to be a tough play for the third baseman. King ranges to his left. Speed of Hurtubise makes the throw in time, and this side is retired. So Carvajal comes in, works around a leadoff bunt single, and we're through 6 complete innings. The Firebirds and the Red Sox in a pitcher's duel. Let's send it over to our sideline reporter, Scotty Gage.
You guys have heard of the Osprey here before, and Bryce, if you're listening in, if not, give him a little nudge and turn him up to, it's on the far left field line, the far, light post, and go all the way up to the top. You probably won't be able to see it, but what's pretty cool about Eldridge Park, and it's been kind of a tradition for several years, is that there's an osprey nest up there. There's a father and a mother osprey, and then they have some little osprey chicks. I don't really know. I probably should have Googled what you call a baby osprey. Let's just go with the baby ospreys. But today it was pretty fun. The Orleans family had a little naming competition today to get the names for the man and the woman osprey up there. And so it's Ozzy and Odie, the osprey, here at Eldridge Park, right up top on the light post. And it's pretty fun. You see them, they're about 3 meters in diameter. They'll fly around the park. It's just a really cool, another inviting specialty to Eldridge Park. So Ozzy and Odie, so whenever you guys are talking about them on the broadcast, which I know you guys love to do every other inning or so, because I know you guys love your Ospreys, talk about Ozzy and Odie, the brand new names for our beloved Osprey here at Eldridge Park.
And thank you, Scotty. Now, Scotty, I believe the Harbor Hawks, because that is the mascot, the Osprey,
yeah.
I believe Ozzy is the mascot's name. So.
Well, I didn't come up with it. It was the kids.
I know. I'm just saying it's funny that, there's Ozzy the Osprey. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure the Harbor Hawk mascot's name is Ozzy.
Hey, we had a lot of names coming in, but Ozzy was the one that was the most wished for. I like Odie, honestly. I've never really heard the name Odie before, but Odie's kind of cool.
I think Odie's very creative.
Right?
I do like that. I do like that.
All right, Thomas, I'll put you on the spot. What would you name them? Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think Ozzy and Odie are good names for them.
Scotty and Angie.
Scotty and Angie will be here next week when Angela Gange will proudly be wearing her Orleans Firebirds gear. I can't wait for that. She's probably tuning in right now. Hey, Mom, what's up? But Ozzy and Odie.
Well, Scotty, tell her to go by the home plate shop and check out some new.
I don't have to tell her that. She'll buy that place out. Come on.
Maybe we should get you a little something along the side, too. Maybe a hat or a shirt or something.
Oh, yeah. She'll be getting some stuff for me, too. Josh, what are you doing?
So here in the top of the 7th inning, it's still a scoreless ballgame as Isaac Esqueda out of USC will take the hill for the Firebirds. He's been lights out now in his 3rd appearance here on Cape Cod. First pitch to Rally King. Fastball misses outside for ball 1. Again, just a quick recap. Only 5 hits combined between both sides. 3 by the Firebirds, 2 by the Red Sox. Esqueda comes set from the windup. The 1-0 to King. King slices one foul off the netting on the hillside. Kind of ball and 1 strike. Scan it. Last pitch back on July 2nd against Hyannis. He's pitched 4 scoreless innings here on Cape Cod, or 4 2/3, excuse me. Has recorded 5 strikeouts. He's been the lefty out of the pen, really, for the Firebirds as the 1-1 pitch. Curveball doesn't dip down enough. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. King so far 1 for 2. He has one of the 2 hits for the Red Sox. He singled back in the second. Was stranded over at first base as Schuster was lights out as well. 2-1 pitch. King hits it right back up the middle. Seretti dives. 2-1 knee. Fields it. Corrals it over to first base. And it gets past Zach Britton and headed towards the dugout on the Firebird side. And Riley King will be awarded second base after Seretti made a nice stop up the middle. Throws it into the Firebirds dugout. And now with nobody out, the Red Sox have a man in scoring position as they try to break things open. So we'll have to wait for the official scoring on that play. But Brad Beasley, the center fielder, so Beasley from the right side. We'll have to see here as the third baseman Murray's in on the grass. You might see Beasley bunt here and trying to move the runner on with nobody out here on the top of the 7th inning. Again, hits have been hard to come by. Beasley shows bunt, pulls it back, takes ball 1. So it'll be a single for Riley King as he's over at second base. Again, with nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. First baseman Britton on the grass as well. So the corner's in for the Firebirds. Beasley pulls it back after he showed bunt. Takes ball 2, count 2-0. So Beasley ahead in the count. Now we'll take a long look over towards Scott Pickler at the third base coach's box. See what they want to do here. Escada looks in to mid of Rob Emery. Beasley showing bunt. Escada looks back at King at second. Kicks and fires. Beasley pulls it back, hits away. Skies it out towards right field. He throws the bat down. Daniels coming in from right field will make the catch. Almost on the infield dirt for the first out. So the game's being played by Beasley does not pay off. And he's retired for the first out here in the top of the 7th inning. Riley King still over at second base. It's Tate Samuelson, the first baseman. He has flown out twice now. Fly out to center in the second. Flew out to right in the 5th. So we'll have to see now if Wandy will bunt over or not again. Murray, the third baseman, is back, but with Samuelson's power, more than likely was let him hit away. Skate up. First pitch curveball. Doesn't come down enough. Misses upstairs for ball 1. Escada's curveball hasn't been sharp so far. He's thrown about 2 or 3 of them now.
Scotty, you want to take a guess? Tennis number for tonight. 12, 20. Yeah. Okay. Scotty, you going to introduce it?
Escada looks back at second baseman King. The 1-0 pitch. Curveball is slashed out towards right center field. Daniels on the run out there. And he makes the catch. Tagging up from second as King throws over towards third base. It's in time! Zach Daniels flashes the hose out in right center field and throws out Riley King to end the 7th inning. Zach Daniels, have a day, kid. After 6.5, it's the Firebirds and the Waddy Red Sox not up at nothing. As we'll step aside, listen to Firebirds baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Okay, if you were to make a Firebirds jersey, a new one, an
okay.
alternate Firebirds jersey.
Okay, I'd go all out on it. You
Okay.
know, I'd take the Firebirds. You know, I'd build the Flames from the bottom. Of course, Flames, because I saw my buddy. He would go. It was in the Northwoods. They had the Star Wars night. Joey, shout out.
And they
Joey.
made Star Wars jerseys.
And they made like these kind of cool Star Wars. I'm pretty sure Star Wars. It was like a little Chewbacca, if I remember it correctly.
Yeah.
of that. So like Firebirds, if it was like one of those nights, I'd build like the flames come from the bottom, and then like some crazy big bird like across the front of it, like with
Wow.
like, some along those lines.
Keep going. I need this.
And then I get the back of it. That's where it'd say Firebird, sit on the back where like your last name would go.
Nice.
I've had the number down here.
What's the font look like on the back?
The font.
Is it sleek or is it
probably,
like flames going out of it?
Probably a little sleek design, pretty sharp.
Pointy edges.
Yeah, pointy edges.
Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah. And then
Dude, we should sell this to the team. This is
what else would it have? You got that, you got the bird, Firebirds on the back. I feel like it would be either a black base.
7th inning stretch from Eldridge Park has come and gone, and it's the latter half of the 7th inning as the Firebirds try to strike first in this ball game. It's been a classic pitcher's duel. But how about Zach Daniels? Catches a fly ball, races it down in the gap, then turns and fires and throws out Riley King at third base. Just when you thought YD had a runner on with nobody out, it goes for a no-show. As first pitch out in front was Dana Soretti for strike one. Carvajal back on the hill for his second inning work. He only threw 10 pitches in that 1-2-3-6 inning after he allowed a single but then issued the double play and then a ground out. 0-1 pitch. Curveball misses the outside edge. Kind of ball on a strike on Soretti. Soretti batting .259 so far on Cape Cod. Bat has come alive as of late for the Firebirds. Gonna switch hitter. He'll hit from the left side against the right-hander Carvajal. Kicks and fires the 1-1 off speed. Going fishing at was Soretti. Kind of ball on 2 strikes. Again, as we get later and later this ball game, whenever leadoff man gets on, more than likely we'll see that guy get bunted over. Carvajal comes set from the stretch, kicks and fires the 1-2. Soretti chops it over towards the second baseman. Dugas fields it on a couple hop and throw it to first base, and Soretti is retired. So one away here in the home half of the 7th. Max Trani, the left fielder now. Counts for one of the 3 base hits. Each squad with 3 hits tonight. Again, but no runs. Right-already matchup first pitch curveball. Trani takes a swing and fouls it over the hill on the first base side. Count no balls and 1 strike. The best chance for the Firebirds so far was all the way back in that first inning. They had 2 men on and just 1 out. But a double play ball issued by Legend as the 0-1 pitch. Trani goes fishing at a pitch in the dirt. Count no balls and 2 strikes. Trani waves the bat towards Carvajal. Carvajal kicks and fires the 0-2 pitch. Cut on and miss for strike 3. And Carvajal continues the deal here in the 7th inning. Strikes out Trani, and there are quickly 2 outs here. So now it's the man of the hour, Zach Daniels. He came in earlier for Ray Gill, who left with an injury. And threw out Riley King that last half inning. And I'll dig his back right foot towards the backside of the right-hander's batter's box. First pitch from Carvajal, first pitch curveball, as Daniels swings right through it. Dan's against Chatham, as we mentioned earlier in the ball game, had that big swing, just got under a ball that would have hit a grand slam against Chatham late in that ball game to bring it to 8-7 if that ball left the park with the bases loaded. 0-1 pitch, curveball misses down below the knees for ball 1. Kind of ball on a strike. Daniels takes a couple practice swings as he dons the Volunteer orange batting gloves and the shoes as well. 1-1 from Carvajal. Daniels chops it over towards the YD bench on the on-deck circle. Kind of ball on 2 strikes. So Carvajal trying to work against scoreless and a quick 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th. Again, still a scoreless ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. Nobody on, 2 outs. The 1-2 from Carvajal. Daniels goes fishing and gets away from the catcher, Austin Willis. Finally finds it. Daniels hustling down the first base line, and he's in there. Zach Daniels strikes out but gets past the catcher, Wells. And now Carvajal will be asked to record 4 outs in this 7th inning. As Zach Britton, a quiet night so far for now, the first baseman in this ball game. Carvajal looking in for the sign here on Zach Britton. First pitch to him. Fouls it back behind us here on the third base side. Count 0-1. The fans that made their way through the rain earlier still watching on from the hill on the first base side. Carvajal looks into the mitt of Wells. The 0-1 pitch. Curveball is sent high in the air towards right center field. The right fielder, Palmer, coming in. A couple more steps, meets with the center fielder in the right center, but Beasley calls off Palmer. He makes the catch for the 3rd out. So Carvajal records 4 outs here in this 7th inning. It's still a scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park after 7. As we're going to send it over to our sideline reporter, Scotty DeGange, for some more. Scotty, who you with?
Well, a bit of a preview. Jane Levy is here, and she has written several fantastic novels, and one of the novels that was called the best baseball book to ever be written, Squeeze Play, that came out in 1990. That was written by Entertainment Weekly. She just came out with a new novel and autobiography on Babe Ruth, so at the end of the next inning, going to sit down with her and kind of hear more of her story and more about the upcoming book. So a bit of a preface, a preview for you guys, and I'm excited to sit down with her. So that's going to be at the end of this next half inning, you guys.
And thank you, Scotty. There are plenty of good baseball books out there you can dig through. I know, obviously, one of my favorites. Love reading Moneyball. Love watching the movie Moneyball. The Last Best League, which actually helps describe part of Cape Cod on here. And Veterans Field and the infamous Chatham Fog and a classic 5th inning fog out. You know, it's funny today because working over at the golf course, and obviously everybody knows about the Cape Lou who comes around here, and somebody asked me, said, oh, well, they're a big Chatham fan, and they said, have you guys had a 5th inning fog out yet? You know, when Chatham, I said, we have not, which, you know, I think it's great the first time to experience, but more than once, I think it gets a little too much.
Yeah, it does for sure, and Orleans got a taste of it last summer at Chatham. Now, the best thing about this all, and I know we're talking about fog, we're talking about rain, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks scored 13 runs in 5 innings. They were declared victors after rainout after 5, so Hyannis comes out on top. They sweep the doubleheader after the game was called after 5 innings.
So the Harbor Hawks pick up their 5th win in the season to move to 5-16-1 now in double digits in points with 11. As Andrew Rice, the left fielder, digs in from the right side. First pitch fastball misses inside from Isaac Esqueda. Esqueda worked around a leadoff single by Riley King after Zach Daniels hosed down King after a fly out in right center. Esqueda from the windup, the 1-0 check swing. Swings right through it, says home plate umpire John Torres. So after rained earlier, the rain does not appear here, but overnight supposed to get a couple of showers. Hopefully we get this ball game in. 1-1 from Esqueda. Curveball dips in right at the knees. Kind of ball in 2 strikes, and that's the curveball that Esqueda couldn't quite get on top of it last inning, but that is the vintage curveball that Firebirds fans are accustomed to seeing from Isaac Esqueda. Nobody on, nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. Still a scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park. Esqueda rocks and fires. The 1-2. Curveball just missing a bit too high there. Looks like it had the outside edge, but got 2-2 on Eister. Schuster so far with a pair of strikeouts. Trying to avoid the hat trick here. Skinner's got that grand curveball of his. See if he goes into that. 2-2 curveball. Misses low one inside. Count runs full at 3-2. Skinner seems like one of those guys who can really throw that curveball for a strike when he's on. Kind of similar to Cole Ayers from Chatham. Could throw that curveball for a first pitch strike about 60% of the time. 3-2 from Mosqueda. Curveball chopper over towards the left side of the infield. McKay, the shortstop, comes charging and throwing on the run. And Eister is retired here in the 8th.
Orleans has done some really nice things tonight. Obviously, offensively, neither side has had much going on, but some great pitching performances by now Schuster, Eder, and Mosqueda. And I think it was almost intentional that it was 3 lefties in a row to try and mess with YD's mojo. Just obviously all 3 very, very talented arms, but the preferred side for Kelly Nicholson when going up against Yarmouth Dennis in 2019.
Now it's Jake Palmer, the left-hander. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch curveball is slashed out towards shallow center field. It will drop in front of Hurtubise, the center fielder, for base hit. So only the 4th base hit for YD in this ball game. And Palmer is aboard with 1 down here in the top of the 8th inning.
I think I'll stop talking because right after I said what I said, YD picks up a hit. And again, no one's been able to manufacture much offense. Both sides have had 1 runner tonight reach in scoring position. If you're YD, you got to find a way to manufacture a run right here. But the problem is you got your 9-hole hitter up at the dish.
Dugas has some speed. Obviously just 1 out, so Scott Bicker we'll have to see what he likes to do here. We'll have Dugas hit away. First pitch fastball. Misses low for ball 1.
Yeah, and I think with 1 out, you have to hit away with Dugas right here and just hope he finds his stroke that he had at the beginning of the season for LSU.
Here maybe a couple fireworks going off. Reminded me that at 9 p.m. over Rock Harbor, there's supposed to be some fireworks, so they want to maybe move those up a little earlier and hope they get those in right down the road in Orleans. Escada will check on the runner at first base in Palmer as he dusts off the dirt from his red top and his white pants. Palmer long look over towards the third base side. Got a ball and no strikes. Escada open stance from the left from the rubber on the first base side. 1-0 pitch. Off speed misses down in the zone. Count heads to 2-0. Again, top of the 8th inning from Eldridge Park. Still scoreless ball game. Why trying to scratch a run across here late in this ball game. Sketty comes set up from the belt. The 2-0. Check swing in the dirt. Does not go around. After the Firebirds dugout was adamant that Dugas went around. Count of 3 balls and no strikes on Dugas. Has a hit tonight in this ball game, just his 2nd on the Cape League season. Came in 1 for 12. 3-0 pitch from Mosqueda. Off-speed misses down, gets away from the catcher Emery, but it's ball 4 anyway. So after a single, a walk is issued to Dugas. As now Rob Emery will have a chat with the southpaw in Mosqueda. A right-hander warming up in the Firebirds bullpen out in right center field.
You would think that the righty is for Austin Wells if we get there in this inning. And you have Wyatt Young and then a Noah Campbell, a switch hitter to follow, who's better from the left side. So you'd have to imagine Kelly Nicholson just ready for insurance if needed. And again, the Orleans Firebirds, we've seen it the last couple of nights. They've been trying to catch up, if you will, with their bullpen arms, get them some rest. It seems like this pen is fresh and ready to go, so Kelly Nicholson with plenty of options to play with.
So Escanda will work against the leadoff man, Wyatt Young, the shortstop. Quiet night so far, which is not what you're used to seeing from Wyatt Young, batting .388 on the Cape League season. First pitch curveball just misses low for ball one. Good looking curveball there from Escada.
I don't think anyone's been loud tonight in the lineup. Everyone has been held in check on either side.
Again, just 7 combined hits between both sides here at the top of the 8th inning. Escada trying to work out of this jam here with 1 down. 1-0 pitch, curveball. Almost the same spot. This time clips the outside corner for strike 1. Kind of balling a strike on Wyatt Young. The game, which again he's 0 for 3. His 8-game hit streak is in jeopardy here. Middle infielder is double play depth for the Firebirds. 1 run from Escada. Goes right back to that curveball outside corner once again. Escada living on the outside edge as he's ahead on Wyatt Young, a ball and 2 strikes. So now we'll see maybe a couple pitches out of the zone or trying to deuce a ground ball here. But with Wyatt Young's speed, it's going to be tough to turn the double play. Escada looks into Rialberry, gets his sign. Looks back over at second base. Looks back again. Kicks and fires the 1-2. Curveball rolled over towards the first baseman. Bryn gets past him in the right field for a base hit. Coming around third, and the throw is over as Escada cuts it off, throws over towards second base. That goes into center field. And another one goes as Wyatt tacks on 2 runs here in the 8th inning as Palmer came around to score initially, and then with the throw, Dugas came in to score, and then Wyatt Young gets all the way to third base as YD has taken a 2-run lead here in the 8th.
Yeah, and that will bring Kelly Nicholson out of the dugout to take Isaac Escada out of the ball game. And again, it's a throw that's overthrown by Zach Daniels. He'll live with that. That's not the problem. It's an RBI single. You can see it there on you go down 1-0. But Escada thought he had a play on Wyatt Young chugging for second. Overthrew McCabe by a mile. Didn't even give him a chance to jump. And then, I don't know how the Firebirds fell asleep to send it over. And Scotty Gange, what do you see on that play?
I think I saw just pretty much exactly what you guys saw. Just an unfortunate kind of stifle in this game that's been so clean so far. Of course, Escada just tried to do a little too much and tried to save face, I think, maybe. Threw it over the head, of course, just like how you guys saw it and how the camera saw it as well. I think just the best word to really describe it is unfortunate. As clean as this game was for the Whitey Red Sox to score another run coming off a bad air like that, and then even to get to third off the air from the center field, that's a tough way to really kind of tarnish this game that has really been so pure and so clean so far.
So it will be a single for Wyatt Young that will give the Red Sox a 2-0 lead, and Young over at third base after a couple of overthrows by the Firebirds, and that's the type of things that have happened in this 3-game losing skid. Just one too many throws or minuscule things that will be enlarged here on Cape Cod. So again, a right-hander is warming up on the mound for the Firebirds.
It's Connor Pellerin from Tulane just tossing.
So Pellerin out of Tulane. And the right-hander with that curveball, making his 6th appearance here on Cape Cod. We've seen him in other high-leverage situations as well, so Kel Nicholson is very accustomed to seeing him out there in those situations. Last pitched back on July 3rd in Chatham, 1 inning and 2/3. Allowed 2 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Allowed 3 runs, but all of them were unearned. So is still yet to allow an earned run here on Cape Cod, and his K/9 ratio is through the roof. 5 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts for the right-hander out of Tulane. So he's called upon here in this top of the 8th inning after Palmer and Dugas came around to score. After Escada got iced to lead off man out, it was a single, a walk, and an RBI single from Wyatt Young. So infield in now for the Firebirds with Wyatt Young over at third base. They want to try to limit the Not a run digging up here in this inning. Limit the damage. Noah Campbell, the switch hitter from the left side, facing the right hitter, Connor Bellerin. Bellerin from the stretch, kicks and fires. First pitch fast, runs up and out of the zone for ball one. Campbell so far 0 for 2. Popped out, struck out, and walked his last debut back in the 6th inning. Again, 2-0 Red Sox lead here in the top of the 8th inning. Both runs coming in this half. It was a pitcher's duel for most of this ball game. 1-0 pitch. Campbell fouls it back to the screen behind the dish. Count a ball and a strike.
Thomas, we've seen it a lot so far this summer when the Birds have gone down. They've not gone down without a fight. And this game is far from over. Orleans still with 6 outs to play with offensively. You just kind of get that feeling the way that this one happened. It just stings a little more.
So 1 ball and 1 strike here on Campbell. Bellerin kicks and fires. The 1-1 pitch is skied up down the left field line. Going into foul ground as a third baseman, Murray and Troiani. And it will touch the grass out there, out of play. So ball and 2 strikes is the count on the Gamecock from South Carolina and Noah Campbell. Hitting .333 so far for the Red Sox. Trying to come up with a big spot here. Again, infield in for the Firebirds with just 1 out. Wyatt Young leading off at third base. Connor Bellerin looking for a big punch out here. And the curveball is a specialty of his. The 1-2. Fastball reached down for in the zone, and Campbell just slashes it over the third base dugout over Route 28. So count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. Campbell trying to work the count here late in this ball game. Top of the 8th inning, 2-0 Red Sox lead. Get infield in for the Firebirds with Wyatt Young over at third base. Bellerin, the 1-2. Curveball is fouled off, ducking for cover in the Red Sox dugout as the ball goes over. So Bellerin has gone to back-to-back fastballs on Noah Campbell. We'll see what he goes to here next. A 1-2 once more. Curveball, check swing. He goes around. John Torres, open umpire, says Campbell went around. He goes down swinging on the curveball from Connor Bellerin. And there are 2 outs here in this top of the 8th inning.
Connor Bellerin has been that go-to guy for Kelly Nicholson. If there's a jam, just bring him in. He just zones out everything around him, does not get phased if there's a runner on, doesn't even really think about the outside there, and just pitches to try and get Ks and pitches the contact to get outs.
He's the mop-up guy so far for the Firebirds. First pitch to Austin Wells at the belt with the fastball for strike 1. So with 2 outs, the infield is back here for the Firebirds. Wyatt Young still over at third base. As Bellerin tries to work out of this jam here. 0-1 to Wells. Wells thrashes one towards the left field. Troiani on his horse. Jumps for it. He can't get to it. It's over his head off the wall. Troiani reaches it. Throw it in towards second base. And standing up is Austin Wells as he drives in. Wyatt Young from third base. And the Cape League RBI leader continues that trend here at Eldridge Park. He now has 19 RBIs on the season. And it's a big one here at Eldridge.
Yeah, and that makes it a little more challenging for the Orleans Firebirds. Difference between a 2 and a 3-run ball game is huge. And you knew that at some point tonight, Austin Wells would break out of that funk he had going on in his first 3 ABs and just find a way to make contact. And it might be only a 1-0 game at this point, but then you have the 2 errors, should say 3 errors in this inning by Orleans have plagued them.
So still 2 outs. Wells at second base. Bellerin kicks and fires. First pitch fastball misses low and outside. A Riley King, and the third baseman from Georgia. King 2 for 3. Been red hot at the dish for the Red Sox. Probably one of the best hitters in the lineup tonight. Bellerin kicks and fires, goes with an over-the-top curveball that just dips in at the letters for strike 1. Kind of ball and a strike here on Riley King. So going back to the last couple games, he is now 6 for his last 12, including his 3 ABs in this ball game. The 1-1 fastball. This misses outside. Count 2 balls and a strike.
You can hear the fireworks going off right now, Thomas. 5 seconds before 9 o'clock. You were spot on.
They did give a range, so I should have probably just been safe with that. It's between 8 and 9 o'clock. As a 2-1 pitch, a wave and a miss for strike 2. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Riley King. One of the best places to see it, though, if you're on Cape Cod, is over in Chatham. A couple nice views out there, but I mean, really any fireworks you can see anywhere, you can find your own spot which satisfies you. The 2-2 from Pellerin. A wave and a miss for strike 3. Nasty curveball from Connor Pellerin to retire Riley King. But the Red Sox tack on 3 here in the top of the 8th inning after 7.5. It's the Whitey Red Sox 3, the Firebirds nothing. We'll send it over to our silent reporter, Scotty Gaines. Scotty?
Guys, I'm here with, I'll say it.
Levy.
Oh.
It's Levy,
yes.
not Levy.
Oh, did I say Levy when I first said hi?
Yes, you did.
Oh, my
Everybody
gosh.
does. The rabbi who buried my grandmother called her Levy. It's all right. You're in good company.
So I'm here with Jane Levy.
Oh, so good of you, Scott. Thank you.
That was good, right?
Thank you for saying it right. Yes.
I'm going to call you a legendary sports writer.
Oh, please do.
Okay, yes, the legendary sports writer, Jane Levy. You just finished a book that took 8 years on Babe Ruth.
You had to mention that, huh? Yeah.
Yes, you just finished a book on Babe Ruth. I'll do that again, right?
It took 8 years. Did I mention that? It was, it's called The Big Fella Babe Ruth and the World He Created. And I knew that it was the stupidest decision I could ever make, and I did it anyway, because lots of people had written very good books before. And I knew
But yours is better.
If you say so. What's different about it is that I was able to find things about his childhood and about his family that had been unknowns. And it was as if he didn't exist before age 20. He started out as a minor league player for the Baltimore Orioles, but nobody knew anything. So they thought he was an orphan. They thought he was an incorrigible, which was a legal term used for boys who got in trouble in Baltimore City. Neither was true. His parents got divorced, and that was not something one talked about when that happened in 1906, even though it was in the Baltimore Sun, Baltimore American, so at the time it was well known. And his father got the divorce on the grounds that his mother had committed adultery and was a drunk. So that was something that Babe Ruth did not want to talk about. And so he was sent off to this school where they took orphans, where they took wayward boys, where they took incorrigibles, and they took boarding students. And guess which one he was?
The incorrigible.
No, he was a boarding student. His father paid for him to go there. So that, too, puts the lie to the idea that he was not only badly behaved. Georgetown, okay. Puts the lie to the idea that he was badly behaved and a bad kid, as everybody always said about him, but also that he was impoverished, which he wasn't. And he was left alone to create a life and a self at a school run by Zavarian Brothers, a lay Catholic order, where kids slept, 90 boys slept in a room head to toe that was outfitted for 50 of them, and it was overcrowded and there was no privacy. And what he learned there, aside from how to hit the hell out of a ball, how to throw the hell out of a ball, was how to be public, because there was no privacy. And for the rest of his life, he would be most comfortable in groups of boys tumbling out of makeshift stadiums all across the land and surrounding him, trying to get close to him, touch him, feel him, see if he was really real. And he was the perfect person, psychologically and in every other way, to be America's first modern celebrity.
I'm interested to understand and kind of what goes into you finding all this about him, and the fact that he played baseball in the 1920s and 30s. What comes to you for finding all this information? And the teens, and you're writing this in the 20 teens.
So, think of it this way. He comes to the Red Sox in 1914. There's no radio. The only way anybody outside of Boston or maybe Providence could know what Babe Ruth did was to read or hear about from a newspaper 3 days or a week later. History was after the fact. There was no immediacy. There's none of this. And so what's changed in the 105 years, is it, since then, is only everything. Yeah. And the availability now of digitized collections of old newspapers and also of family documents online at Maryland State Archives or the Massachusetts State Archives or Providence or Boston City. I was able to ferret out the story in documents and in old newspapers that my predecessors couldn't find because they would have had to read every edition of the Baltimore Sun to happen on that divorce notice in the Baltimore Sun. All I had to do was type in George Herman Ruth Sr. V. That was my big, edition. V. Katie Ruth, and up popped a 150-page dossier of all the horrible stuff that went on in the family, in the relationship. And so when a father says of his children's mother, she was lousy and the kids were lousy, I guess she was all right when she wasn't drunk, but she was always drunk, you know that what you had here was an abandoned boy who somehow, despite everybody's feeling that he had no character, no discipline, no sense of responsibility, figured out a way to create a life and a self. And oh my God, what a self that was.
Thank you so much for your time. It's really interesting to hear. Josh and Thomas, will send it back to you. Really do appreciate your time.
And here back inside Eldridge Park in the bottom of the 8th inning, Eddie McCabe walked, then advanced a wild pitch to second base, and Tanner Murray thrashes one through the hole on the left side of the infield. 4 base hits. The Firebirds have 2 men on and nobody out. New pitcher on the hill for the Red Sox is Gordon Ingebrigtsen out of UC Irvine. Another one of those anteaters out in California, as now Scott Picker will take the slow walk out towards the hill as the Firebirds are striking here, as Shea Whitcomb represents the tying run for the Firebirds after the Red Sox put 3 runs across in the top half of this inning.
Yeah, and he's got home run power, Thomas. We've seen it so far this summer for Whitcomb. Hit a solo shot in that doubleheader against Wareham. So this game could change in a hurry and potentially just be tied up. Ingebrigtsen pitched against the Firebirds last summer with the Red Sox. He was part of YD for a couple of appearances and threw 3 scoreless innings, but it looks like that might be it for the right-hander.
So he faces 2 batters, does not record an out, walked Eddie McCabe on 5 pitches, and then Tanner Murray on a 1-0 count puts one through the hole on the left side of the infield. So we'll step aside from Eldridge Park. It's the YD Red Sox 3, the Firebirds nothing in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runners in the corners. Listen to Firebirds baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. There's a 1-0 pitch. Wilcom sends one high in the air towards left field, towards the scoreboard. It's gone. And the Firebirds are back on the board here in Game 2. We can call this Firebirds team a solo home run machine because that's all they do, too. As Whitcomb puts the Firebirds on the board here early, 1-0 lead.
Here's the 2-1 to Kokoska. Fastball rocketed to left field. Weimer ranging back. He's in front of the fence, looks up. This ball is gone. Zach Kokoska tees off on his college teammate, Carson Seymour, shoots him a look rounding the bases. It's Kokoska's first home run of the summer, and the Birds take the lead. It's 3-2 here at Eldridge Park.
Left Torani on first base, back in the first. Gill sends one high in the air towards left field. Weimer, left fielder, going back, jumps up. Did he hold on? No! It's over the wall. A home run for Ray Gill. Weimer trying to make an acrobatic grab out there in left field, but Gill jumps on the first pitch and sends it over the left field fence. And this deficit has been cut in half here. Firebirds trail now only 2-1. The Firebirds infield will come in on the grass First pitch to Darren Baker, right back to the third baseman. Tags the runner at third, throws across the diamond, and they got him! Tanner Murray, heads up play. Home half of the 8th inning from Eldridge Park. It's the Red Sox leading the Firebirds 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning again. Runners on the corners. New pitcher on the mound is Taylor Dollard. Has a pair of saves so far. Hasn't allowed a run through 8 1/3 innings. First pitch runs a little bit inside on Shea Whitcomb for ball one as the rain starts to fall again from Eldridge Park.
I was going to say, Thomas, right on cue as Dollard throws his first pitch. The rain comes pouring down. Might make it harder for Whitcomb to hit a potential home run.
Dollard comes set from the belt. The 1-0 pitch. Curveball. Misses above the letters on Whitcomb. Count heads to 2 balls and no strikes. So again, Whitcomb represents the tying run at the dish for the Firebirds after the Red Sox scored 3 in the top half of this inning. Oh, nobody out just yet. 2-0 pitch. Whitcomb rolls over this one. Chops it foul over the Red Sox dugout. Count 2 balls and a strike. Now it's interesting as well because of the rain continues to pour on here, and this half inning is not finished.
Yeah, if it rains and this game gets called, the 3 runs come off the board and it resets to the end of 7.
So it would be still a scoreless ball game then. It would be a tie. But that's if the game gets called. And still a lot of baseball to be played here. 2-1 pitch to Whitcomb. Beautiful big bender from Dollard. Comes in at the belt.
Now, I don't think it's raining hard enough for them to call the game at this point. It's still soft. It's coming down at a constant rate. But it's not like it's pouring like we saw the last time these two teams played, where it just absolutely downpoured for 10 minutes.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Whitcomb. Ready matchup. Dollard kicks and fires. A 2-2 pitch. Fastball cut on a miss for strike 3. And Dollard strikes out Whitcomb to start things off here in his outing in Orleans. 1 down, still runners on the corners. Dollard with 14 strikeouts through 8 1/3 innings so far this year. And the right-hander out of Cal Poly. As now Rob Emery, the catcher, the 9-0 hitter, will dig in from the right side. Emery trying to deliver a big base knock here for the Firebirds. First pitch to him. Off-speed pitch, a wave and a miss for strike 1. Had some movement on that off-speed pitch. So McCabe started off this inning with a walk, advanced to second on a wild pitch. Before Murray delivered a base knock, he's over at first base. Dollard nods, kicks, and deals. The 0-1 fastball comes up and in as Emery ducks out of the way. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now.
And Thomas, I know it sounds unconventional to run when you're down by 3, but I would have Tanner Murray go for second base. It's going to be a challenge for Austin Wells to grip a baseball with this rain and fire it to second. See if you can get the Red Sox to do exactly what they were able to force you to do and make them throw the ball around.
Murray takes lead off at first. Dollard rocks and fires the 1-1 pitch in the dirt. Emery holds up the barrel. Wells able to shuffle down to his knees to make the block. 2 balls and a strike, and it'll be interesting to see Tanner Murray going to take off towards second base if that does happen.
And again, it's very unconventional to run when you're losing by 3 with the tying run at the plate. You don't want to run yourself out of that chance.
2-1 to Emery. Pitch comes up and inside. Check to swing, but holds up once again. So Emery head on the count, 3 balls and a strike. Right at Eldridge Park, bottom of the 8th inning. Red Sox lead the Firebirds by a score of 3-0. Those 3 runs came in the top half of this 8th inning. Dollard behind the count, 3 balls and a strike with 1 down. Runners on the corners. Dollard kicks and deals. The 3-1 pitch is skied down. The foul ground on the right field side. Samuelson will run and dodging a couple of Firebirds fans down there as the ball finds the seats on the hill. So count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes on Emery. And Samuelson will jog back down towards first base. The rain is lined up here the last 15-20 seconds or so from what it was doing a couple minutes ago. Again, runners on the corners, 1 out. The payoff pitch, fastball, strike 3. Emery swings right through one there. Back-to-back strikeouts by Dollard, and there are quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And that's what Dollard has done so far this summer. That's his 16th punch-out in his first 9 innings. So think about that for a second, Thomas. He's averaging 16 Ks per every 9.
That is absurd. He is bumping the fastball up in the zone. And retired Emery, so now Jacob Hurtubise, the leadoff hitter from the left side, to face the right-hander Dollard. Dollard will step off the rubber, steps off the backside of it, and now will reconnect with his back right foot.
And Hurtubise does not strike out easily, only 26 Ks in 61 games this past season at Army.
So Hurtubise with the 1 batting glove on that lower hand. First pitch to him, fastball misses out of the zone, throw over down towards third base. As the third baseman, King, blocks the ball from Wells. Dangerous play there by the Red Sox. If that ball goes down the left field line, scoring at least a run and might put a runner over at third base too.
Yeah, I don't like that play at all for YD. Focus on getting the batter. That runner on third means nothing if you get the out.
It was a pitch out on Hurtubise. 1-0 pitch to him. Off-speed pitch comes down at the letters for a strike.
The other thing, too, you have to keep in mind, think about who you have on the mound. You have your best relief pitcher in the ball game who's just absolutely dominated the first 2 hitters he's faced.
Yeah, you basically have the Mariano Rivera for the YD Red Sox. How cliche that sounds. The 1-1. Curveball bends in on the outer half of the plate at the knees for strike 2. Got a ball and 2 strikes. So after a walk and then a single by the Firebirds, back-to-back punch-outs issued by Dollard after he came into this ball game. Trying to strike out the side here in Hurtubise. Runners on the corners, 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-0 Red Sox lead. Tying run still at the plate. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball tipped into Wells, bit for strike 3. And Dollard comes on and retires the next 3 hitters for this Firebirds lineup. As the Firebirds, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. 8 innings have come and gone from Eldridge Park. It's the Red Sox 3, Firebirds nothing. Listen to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network.
We are here at Eldridge Park. Scotty Gange alongside Rob Emery.
We're actually here at Fenway Park.
No. Oh, that's right. It's right behind us.
Yeah.
Hey, Firebirds family, welcome into Fenway Park. It's a phenomenal day. I've said it about 1,000,000 times today with all the guys. We're just having so much fun out here. I got the lucky chance to catch up with players, coaches, interns. Here's a little best of montage from our fantastic day here at the park.
I couldn't imagine anything better.
Couldn't be better than this.
Yeah, it's a dream come true no matter what.
I feel a little bit like Neil Armstrong, to be quite honest with you.
Can't really describe it.
It's just a load of fun. Yes, this is completely a dream.
It was really like a dream come true. It was such a great experience.
Just how cool this is, honestly.
In Fenway Park, look at where we're at, man. This is so much fun.
You know, magical, if I had to say one word.
You kidding, man? I didn't stop smiling.
It's fun. The fun part for me is watching our guys enjoy this day. That's the best part about it.
If you could choose one trait that you'd like to be of yourself in here today, if you could bring the best trait of Max Troiani, of Josh Zamora to the absolute fullest, what would you like it to be today?
I just want to have fun, man. I think that's what the game is.
Just be able to take everything in, kind of realize all the blessings that we have around us right now.
Put the best foot forward, make the best impression, and you know, give it all you got.
Just try to enjoy it and and keep the baseball part of it simple.
I would say it's don't let failure get to you.
It's kind of a thing to take dirt from baseball fields. Are you going to put some dirt in a water bottle and take it home?
Oh, most definitely, 100%.
Yeah, I hadn't planned that, but I think that's a good idea.
I am absolutely taking some dirt today.
Are you taking dirt home today,
I'm not
Coach?
taking it. I'm not taking any dirt home.
What am I going to put it in?
A water bottle or
A water
something.
bottle? I'll take dirt home. I'll take dirt home. I didn't know there was a thing, to be honest.
That's a thing.
No. I wasn't thinking about that, but
No,
I
it's a good idea.
yeah, I think it's a good
Yeah.
idea now. I think I will.
Is that allowed as a Yankee fan? I'm not even sure.
I don't even like dirt on my uniform, Scott.
From the nicest shades in Cape Cod, this is the Orleans Firebirds. We'll see you around.
But what an amazing day. Thank you to the Boston Red Sox organization.
Top of the ninth inning from Eldridge Park as the Red Sox lead the Firebirds by a score of 3-0. As the Red Sox scored those 3 runs back in the top of the 8th inning. Carter Lohman, the southpaw of Louisville, on the hill for the Firebirds. First pitch fastball runs off the plate to Brad Beasley, the center fielder, for ball 1. Left-hander Lohman, the 1-0 pitch fastball runs inside. Count heads to 2 balls and no strikes. Lohman making his 4th appearance here on Cape Cod. He gave up 3 runs in his 2nd appearance back in Hyannis. Again, each appearance for 2/3 of an inning. As a 2-0 pitch fastball gets past the mitt of the catcher, Rob Emery, and we'll head to the backstop. Count 3-0. Has struck out 3 in 2 innings, but has issued 5 walks over those innings as fires a 3-1 fastball on the outside edge to Beasley. Count 3 balls and a strike. Comes right back with another fastball. This one misses the outside corner for ball 4, and Beasley is aboard to start things off here in the 9th inning. So Tate Samuelson, the first baseman, will dig into the right side to face the left-hander Lohman, who will work from the stretch for the first time tonight. Takes an early peek over at first base on Beasley. Samuelson has flown out 3 times so far tonight. Takes a first pitch fastball at the knees for strike 1. That last one was back in the 7th inning when Zach Daniels chased down the ball in the right center field gap, then turned and threw a missile to Tanner at third base to double Riley King, who was tagging from 2nd to 3rd. 0-1 pitch has popped up and out of play over the hill on the first base side. A count 0-2 on the first baseman. Daniels play probably one of the best defensive plays we've seen so far this year. We've seen a plethora of them as well from the infielders themselves with McCabe and Soretti and Tanner Murray, even Ray Gill over at first base. Lohman, the 0-2. Curveball misses down below the knees for ball 1. Trying to get Samuelson to chase the pitch out of the zone. Ball and 2 strikes to count on Samuelson. Again, 3-0 Red Sox go the Firebirds here in the top of the 9th inning. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. As the 0-2 pitch is thrashed through the right side of the infield into right field for a base hit. As Beasley will hold the wheels up over at second base as Daniels fielded the ball in the outfield and throws it back in quickly. But the Red Sox have the first 2 men aboard here. Start things off for the 9th. Firebirds, no runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors as well, just to finish that off. Couple costly errors led to those 3 runs in the 8th inning for the Firebirds. As Andrew Eister, the left fielder, will make some room for himself on the right side. Runners on first and second, nobody out here in the top of the 9th. Red Sox has got their 7th hit. First pitch fastball runs off the plate. Count a ball, no strikes. Double play depth up the middle. First baseman Braid will play behind the runner, not holding him on over at first base. Lohman looking to induce a ground ball here. As the 1-0 curveball misses low and outside. To count 2 balls and no strikes. Eister so far 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts, and grounded out back just last inning in the 8th. as Kelly Nicholson will walk out to the hill. As it looks like Orleans will make a pitching change here. From Eldridge Park here in the top of the 9th inning. It's the Waddy Red Sox 3, the Firebirds nothing. Runners on first and second, nobody out. We'll step aside, listen to Firebirds baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Top half of the 9th inning from Eldridge Park. It's the Red Sox leading the Firebirds by a score of 3-0. Kelly Nicholson will go to the right hand of the bullpen, Jeff Pramel, who has been the closer for the Firebirds, trying to limit the damage here. Nobody out, runners on first and second. Pramel making his 8th appearance here on Cape Cod. Last pitch back on July 3rd in Chatham. And Chatham walked things off against the Birds. So count is 2 balls and no strikes, and Andrew Ice to the left fielder. Pramel comes set from the belt. Rocks and fires as showing bunt was Eister. Takes a fastball at the belt for strike 1. First baseman Zach Britton was charging in on the bunt. He'll be in on the grass. Third baseman Tanner Murray will stay in line with the base. Runners on first and second again. Nobody out here at the top of the 9th. Red Sox trying to tack on insurance run here. Count 2 balls and a strike on Andrew Eister. Pramel from the belt. The 2-1 pitch, double still going on here. Swinging a miss, throw over down towards third base. And in safely at third is Brad Beasley. A double steal by the Red Sox. And Samuelson takes second base as well. So now that throws off the double play. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Eister. So count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from Pramel. Fastball upstairs, cut on a miss for strike 3. And Eister goes down swinging. As the ball trickles into center field. They throw another ball away here. And 2 runs come in to score for the Red Sox, and just like that, so 1 run comes in. They appealed over to third base and say Samuelson didn't touch third. And so 1 run will come in to score, though, in Brad Beasley. So it's now a 4-0 Red Sox lead. 2 outs here in the frame as the first pitch to Jake Palmer runs upstairs for ball 1. So The ball goes into center field. And Whitey scores 2 runs, and then they appeal to third base and say Samuelson did not touch it. He's out. So 2 outs here as the 1-0 pitch is slashed down the left field line. It will drop down towards the corner for a base hit. Heading around first is Palmer going towards second base. And he is in standing up with a 2-out double. Here in the top of the 9th inning, the Red Sox lead 4-0 over the Firebirds.
Thomas, it seems that whenever Orleans and YD gets together, there's some mayhem that goes on. We saw the fog the last time these two teams played at Eldridge Park. Now we get this weird combination of throwing it back to the pitcher, trickling into center field, almost like a Little League play, but then only one of the runs count because the guy misses third.
Think about if that run actually meant something. It still means something, obviously, an insurance run, but still. We're not going towards third base. And
no throw.
No throw as Palmer takes third base. That is the 3rd stolen base in this half inning, 4th in the ball game for the Red Sox. Running rampant on the base paths here in this ball game. 1-0 pitch, runs low and outside, count 2-0. Excuse me, count 1 ball and a strike.
So Beasley comes home to score. They haven't marked it an error, which is, I don't know how you actually score that. And then you have Samuelson out for missing third.
The 1-1 is fouled back. Count a ball and 2 strikes. It's been something else here at Eldridge Park. As you mentioned, when these two teams get together, something strange happens.
Now it's been scored an error, a throwing error charged against Rob Emery.
Ball and 2 strikes. The curveball almost comes in and hits Dugas. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So Samuelson advances to third on the error, but then is ruled out for missing the back.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. That would be the Firebirds' 4th error in the ball game. As a 2-2 pitch, ducking for cover is Dugas. Count is full at 3-2.
Yeah, it should be Orleans' 4th error of the night as well. And Firebirds a good defensive team coming into the evening, but it just seems like those little minuscule plays they haven't been able to make of late.
3-2 pitch to Dugas. Fastball upstairs, ball 4. Dugas works a 2-out walk. Runners on the corners now with 2 outs. As the Firebirds, during this losing skid, have made 6 errors. Not counting tonight. So make it 10 in the last 4 games once this game is completed.
Yeah, when by the time you make 10 errors on a 4-game stretch, you give up 31 earned runs over a 4-game stretch. It's not a good recipe to win baseball games. The reason why the Firebirds have smelled their first losing skid of the season.
So Wyatt Young, the leadoff man, comes back around. He extended that Yankee hitting streak to 9 here just last inning. First pitch fastball. Misses above the letters and out of the zone for ball 1. Again, Palmer over at third base. Hit a double, and then Dugas followed up with a walk. 1 run across this half inning. 4-0 Red Sox leading the top of the 9th. 1-0 fastball runs upstairs on a wide. Young, count 2 balls and no strikes. Fibers trying to get back to the dugout without any more damage and get those bats going. Have to get through Wyatt Young first. The 2-0 from Pramel. Fastball chopped over down foul on the first base side. 2 balls and a strike.
So, Thomas, this is the last game still going on in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the Firebirds 3 points clear of Brewster for that 3rd spot. So Orleans, at the very worst, will hold on to 3rd at the current moment, but a lot of teams starting to knock on the door of Orleans. Harwich, who looked like they were nowhere close, they swept the doubleheader with Wareham today, and now just 4 points shy of Orleans.
2-1 pitch is foul to the backstop. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes, and things have gotten tighter out here.
If you think to the other day when the Firebirds were in first place in the East Division with 24 points. Harwich had 14. They were 5 games back of the Firebirds, and now they're just 2.
A lot can happen over a couple-day stretch. As Pramel trying to get out of this 9th inning jam. Runners on the corners with 2 down. The 2-2. Curveball comes inside and hits wide Young as he hits the deck. As he'll walk over towards first base, and now the bases are loaded. So there have been 2 walks in this half inning, and now a hit by pitch. So 3 Red Sox hitters have reached base via the free pass. Noah Campbell, the DH, the switch hitter. As Matt Troop goes out to have a chat with Jeff Pramel. Again, just needing 1 out here in the 9th inning. Again, top of the 9th, 4-0 Red Sox lead. 4-0. 3 runs came in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. If the Firebirds can get to this bottom half of the 9th, Serrati, Chirani, and Zach Daniels, the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Firebirds. That would be the heart of the order you want to get things going. First pitch to Campbell from the left side. Fastball runs out of the zone for ball 1. Bases are loaded here in the top of the 9th. 1-0 pitch. Campbell lines one down the right field line, but foul. As that will go up on the hill towards the corner. Got a ball and a strike. So if Campbell was able to place that one in fair ground, that's at least 2 runs. Maybe even 3. The 1-1. Fastball pumped upstairs for ball 2. Count 2 balls and a strike. Red Sox, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Firebirds, no runs, 4 hits, and 4 errors. A 2-1 from Pramel. Off-speed pitch rolled over foul towards the first base coach's box. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's been tough for the Firebirds here, trying to secure the last 6 outs of this ball game. After 7, it was still a scoreless game. As a chopper over towards the second baseman, Serrati fields on a 2-upper throw on a first base, and Campbell is retired. But not before the Red Sox tack on 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 men left on base. We're through 8.5 here at Eldridge Park. It's the Red Sox 4, the Firebirds nothing.
Trying to walk it off with the
Bobby working rather quickly. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit hard and deep to left. And Tico chases it. It's gone. Ray Gill walks it off for Orleans.
The University of Miami first baseman.
Firebirds 1, Gaten nothing.
Pouring out of the first
Didn't take much. 1 run on his 4 hits
in the
for the
first 7
Firebirds.
innings. And Gill crosses home plate. He is miles by all the water in the Sunset Season ballpark as the Birds win it 1-0 in game.
Latter half of the 9th inning. Last ups for the Firebirds. They trail the Red Sox by a score of 4-0 here at Eldridge Park as Serrati, Chirani, and Zach Daniels due up for the Firebirds.
Thank you.
Dollar back on the bump. First pitch check swing by Serrati. Does not go around. So count of 1 ball, no strikes. And Zach Kokoska has come out to the on-deck circle and looks to hit for Max Troiani. Dollar comes set from the stretch from the belt. The 1-out. Off-speed pitch. The outside edge. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Again, all 4 runs for the Red Sox coming in the last 2 innings. 3 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th. Serretti looks to jumpstart this Firebirds offense. Just 4 hits on the evening. 2-0 to Serretti. Pitch just misses the outside corner. Count 2 balls and a strike here on Serretti. Serretti so far 0 for 3. Fielder's choice and a pair of groundouts. 2-1 pitch. Clips the inside corner for strike 2. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes as Serretti takes a hard right turn on the batter's box after the strike call. Picks up some dirt with his left hand. Dollar comes set. Rocks and fires. The 2-2. Swung on a miss for strike 3. And Serretti goes down, swinging an off-speed pitch. And Dollard has now 4 straight strikeouts. He has recorded all 4 outs via the punch-out. We mentioned he had 16 punch-outs in 9 innings. Now it's over that. So now Zach Kokoska will pinch it for Max Troiani. He pitched yesterday in Wareham. First pitch to Kokoska. The high-speed pitch misses down in the zone for ball 1. Now Kokoska retired 1 batter as a pitcher yesterday. Line drive right back to him. Hit off his shoulder, then popped up and caught it. 1-0 pitch, a wave and a miss for strike 1. Kind of ball and a strike.
Yeah, he was clocked at about 87 miles an hour with a fastball. Then threw a cutter as well, supposedly at around 86 is what the scouts were saying.
We'll have to ask where he picked that pitch up along the way. Cutter not obviously something that a lot of pitchers throw, especially a spot pitcher like that, like Kokoska. The 1-1 to Kokoska. Fastball just missed down below the knees. Count 2 balls and a strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Firebirds trail the Red Sox by a score of 4-0. Dollar takes a deep breath. The 2-1. Fastball in the inside corner for strike 2. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dollard so far, 14 strikes, just 10 balls. So 24 pitches through an inning and a third plus. Trying to strike out Kokoska here for the 5th straight hitter. Again, all 4 outs have been via the strikeout for Dollard. The 2-2. Fastball is bounced up the first base side. Fielded by Samuelson. Glove flip over to Dollard over at first base. And Kokoska is retired for the 2nd out, and the Firebirds are down to their final out.
You mentioned the strikeout number for Orleans. It's 12 tonight now. They lead the Cape and K's now up to 210 across their first 21 games.
And it's Zach Daniels who is at the dish for the Firebirds with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. The Red Sox lead the Firebirds 4-0. Ready matchup. First pitch to Daniels. He fouls it back to the screen. Count 0-1. If Daniels can get aboard, it'll be Zach Britton on deck, and then Andy McCabe, who is in the hole. The 0-1 pitch to Daniels. Fastball above the letters. Kind of ball and a strike. Get 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 4-0 Red Sox lead nobody on for the Firebirds. Dollar kicks and deals the 1-1. Fastball outside corner for strike 2, and now the Firebirds are down to their final strike here at Eldridge Park. A lot of the Firebird faithful left earlier after a couple downpours sent them running for their cars with a beach chair over their heads. Dallard kicks and fires a 1-2 curveball. Bounces off at the plate. It's off the open umpire, John Torres. He's okay, though. Of course, nothing happened strange the last time. The first time these two teams met was the open umpire took a foul ball off the arm and had to leave the game. So that game over in YD at DY High School lasted with only 2 umpires. Dallard takes a deep breath. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball runs off the outside edge. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 4 of the 5 outs so far from Dallard are via the strikeout. Trying to make it 5 of 6 here. So he tries to shut out the Firebirds here to Eldridge. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball rolled over and chopped foul up the third base side. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Dana's with some good 2-strike hitting here. Fouls off a couple tough curveballs and fastballs from Dallard. It'll be pitch number 7 coming up in this AB. Again, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Firebirds trail by 4. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball ground over towards the third baseman, King, who fields it on his forearm. Throws over the first time, and Daniels just able not to beat it out as a stretch by Samuelson at first. Retires Daniel here in the 9th inning. Again, all 4 runs for the Red Sox coming between the 8th and the 9th inning as they defeat the Firebirds here by a score of 4-0. Schuster started it out for the Firebirds, went 5 strong, allowed just 1 hit and 5 strikeouts, but the Firebirds unable to use his quality start, as it was a pitcher's duel for most of this ball game. Legend Smith on the opposition side for the Red Sox pitched 5 strong. As we'll take a look at some of the other scores going on Cape Cod after the Firebirds fall. So the Red Sox 4-0. Again, we mentioned Highest earlier, winning 2 games overboard. Chatham defeating Katuitt 5-3. So Chatham now cruising still in first place at 29 points, 14-7-1. Wade moves to 13-7-1, while the Firebirds will drop to 11-8-2. And now have lost 4 in a row. I mentioned earlier, Harwich picking up 2 big wins. They are now at 22 points. And Brewster fell to Falmouth, so they'll stay over at 21. They'll actually drop to last in the East Division. Again, just a look at a couple performances here tonight at Eldridge. Just the 4 hits corralled by the Firebirds. Hurtubise with one of those hits. Tandem Murray and another. Whitcomb the other 2 hits before Trani, who was subbed out a pinch hitter in the 9th for Zach Kokoska, picked up the other hit. So the Firebirds bats tonight couldn't get things going, but pitching down late in this ball game could not quite hold on. As our sideline reporter Scotty Gaines is making his way to try to talk to Jarod Schuster. Yes, he has found him over on the first base side. As Scotty, we'll send over to you. You're alongside Jarod Schuster.
Of course, Jarod Schuster, the Birds baller of the game. Who else? It seems like after every single time you pitch, you and I are chatting. What was working so well out there for you tonight?
I think I had great command of my fastball, and then my changeup was obviously working. Got a lot of swings and misses with that. So that 2-pitch mix was working well for me tonight.
5 innings pitched, shutout baseball. Your last 12 guys were retired. Before the game, I saw you throw in extreme long toss.
Yeah.
How does that help you when you're on the mound?
I think it just loosens me up, gets me more athletic, and it just helps me throw harder and gets me warmed up before the game.
Seems like when you were on the mound today, you just kind of looked locked in, a little bit different than times before. What was motivating you tonight?
My family was here, so I just wanted to show them a good outing, and then just want to keep rolling and help the team win.
when your family's out here and you played very well. You're probably your best pitching performance of the season was tonight. How cool is that for you with them watching?
I mean, that's awesome. They don't get to see me much at college, so this is a little closer. So it's really fun to have them here and see me pitch well.
Congratulations to you, the Birds ball of the game, Mr. Jarod Schuster.
Thanks,
Fantastic
Scotty.
outing tonight, man.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Scotty, thank you. And Jarod, a fantastic outing indeed for Schuster. Went 5 strong. Only allowed 1 base runner tonight. It was a single in the second. Retired the last 12 batters he faced. And the Orleans pitching staff tonight was stupendous. The Firebirds got strong outing from Schuster. Jake Eder followed it up with a scoreless frame of his own. He'll join us here momentarily on the Birds Broadcast Network. Then Isaac Escada followed a strong first inning, got tagged for 3 runs in the second. And 2/3 of shutout baseball from Connor Pellerin. Carter Lohman charged for a run. And then Jeff Pramel went on to finish it for the Orleans Firebirds. And joining us now here on the Birds Broadcast Network, Jake Eder. Jake, first off, how did it feel to go out there for the first time in the Orleans Red?
It was fun. I was getting out there for an inning. I knew I was only going an inning or 2 because I'm starting here on Wednesday. So it's the first time I've pitched since leaving Omaha. So just good to get a little touch up in before I start.
We'll get to talking about Omaha momentarily. You go out there, you rack up a couple of Ks. What was working for you on the mound?
I was throwing a slider for a strike, so that was good. And I was really just trying to kind of feel everything, getting back on the mound again. So felt good.
The last time you pitched before tonight in a competitive game, you finished off a national championship run for the Vanderbilt Commodores. What was running through your mind when you were out at TD Ameritrade?
I was just trying to tag a hitter and get an out. It was got into the last inning, adrenaline was pumping. I had to settle down a little bit, but yeah, it was awesome.
When you look back on this 2019 year, obviously still not over yet, summer ball to go through, fall as well, but just winning a national championship, the journey it took, how special was that Vanderbilt group?
It was a legacy team. I mean, it was a very special team. You probably won't be on another team like that in college, or you never know. But it was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable group of guys, and just miss them already.
A bunch of Vanderbilt players in years past have come to Orleans. Pat DeMarco, J.J. Boudet, Phil Clark, to name a few that just played here last summer. What did they tell you about Orleans and the Cape Cod Baseball League?
They told me it was a great spot, that I'd have fun here, and that it was a competitive group, and just to go have fun.
Obviously, a little more than halfway through this summer now. What are some of your personal goals you're trying to work on and achieve the rest of the summer?
I'm just trying to attack hitters, minimize walks, just fill up the zone, just throw all my stuff, let all my stuff play in the zone. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking going forward.
Jake, thanks for the time tonight, and best of luck moving forward.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That was the Southpaw Jake Eder from Vanderbilt as the Firebirds fall to the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox 4-0 here at Eldridge Park. Let's give you the final totals tonight. YD scores 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 7 runners left on base. Orleans, no runs on 4 hits, 4 errors, and 3 runners left on base. The winning pitcher tonight is Oscar Carvajal in his first appearance on the Cape Cod Baseball League. He advances to 1-0. Isaac Escada drops to 0-1, and Taylor Dollard notches his 3rd save in a ball game that took 2 hours and 44 minutes here at Eldridge Park, seen by 1,683 fans in attendance. So that'll do it here in Orleans, Massachusetts. The Firebirds fall to 11-8-2 on the year. Yarmouth Dennis advances to 13-7-1. These two teams will be back at it tomorrow night at Red Wilson Field. First pitch is set for 5 p.m. So for our sideline reporter, Scotty Gaines, our producer, Bryce Johnson, my broadcast partner, Thomas Cinzarella, I'm Josh White saying so long and good night. The final here from Orleans, Massachusetts. Yarmouth Dennis 4, Orleans nothing. We'll talk to you from Red Wilson Field.